getting ready for another whole season with the Padres. We're 41-41, folks. That means technically the season hasn't even started yet. So buckle up, kiddos. We've got about 80 more games of Padres baseball action. And if you rewound the clock all the way to April or March even, and you just said, okay, season starts now, but only 80 games, it would be the exact same thing.
Cool.
Actually, as a matter of fact, it wouldn't be because several of the Padres are hurt.
Yeah, there was better help. And I mean, if we're being fair here, there are a couple teams that are doing worse than the Padres.
Yeah, and also, if we're being fair, there's a couple teams doing a lot better.
Well, we don't
So,
talk about them too much because we already knew they were going to be a lot better.
Yeah, so listen, the Padres, they did what the Padres do. They came off of a really rough road trip where they got swept by the Mets. They got beat up by the Phillies, but stole a win on their way out of town, then came home against the Brewers. And for 3 days, they looked like offensive juggernauts. The Brewers were putting up scores. They were scoring runs. Like the Brew Crew, they packed their bats.
That's right.
But the Padres said, well, we left our bats at home, as a matter of fact. So we're going to use them. And they did for 3 outings. And then the Milwaukee Brewers stole one on their way out of town. And so that drops them to an even 500. Exactly as we said when we left here on Friday. And this was ahead of Jesse Lozano's One More Win golf tournament, which we'll get into in just a moment here. We said, chances are they're going to have a really good weekend because that's what the Padres do. And guess what? They did. And then just like the Padres do, as soon as they were a game above 500, they went, nah, it's too good to be true. We're going to go ahead. We'll lose to the Brewers. We will not sweep. And we'll head into this Washington National Series, a 500 baseball team.
Well, it's been hot as hell.
Yeah.
Which means no marine layer, I guess.
Yeah, and burned off, man.
So all of a sudden, the Padres good at home, suck on the road.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
little change up.
It has been hot as hell. Too hot.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here, universe?
Well, welcome to summer. Woo!
Yeah, buddy. It's
but usually, like, San Diego summer happens in, like, October.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
It'll cool. Yeah, feels like it, right? It'll cool off a little bit. Then we'll ramp back up. Don't worry.
Rich, you did mention the injuries.
Sounds like the Padres.
Yeah.
It's
just, you know what? But except we won't stay around 500. Stay around, 90.
Too much. But you mentioned the injuries, Rich, and they are starting to pile up. Darvish set to return tomorrow, so that's exciting. He's been on the IL for a little bit now. But Jurickson Profar played yesterday, but has that left patellar tendonitis. He missed a game earlier in the series.
Not the patellar.
No. Fernando Tatis Jr., he missed the last 2 games with the triceps bruise after he got hit by the pitch on Friday. He's also dealing with a quad injury. We found out about that yesterday. Luis Campusano, he's on the 10-day IL with a thumb issue, set to return early July. Joe Musgrove, Xander Bogaerts, neither of them are going to return to the second half. So when you think about the season restarting today, because it kind of does, because they're dead even, it doesn't really, because you're starting today with some injuries stacking up.
By the way, you also have Manny, who apparently could blow out that elbow at any time.
Oh yeah. When I said the season started, I was joking.
Right.
We're in much worse shape than we were when we started, because also, if you think about it, when you start the season, you're 500, so are the rest of the baseball teams you're out there playing. Nobody has any momentum, good or negative, and you have a full, hopefully healthy complement of players at your disposal. That is not the case. 41-41 has come at costs. And let's be frank, even if Darvish comes back, and he came back from his last injury and was awesome, it doesn't guarantee that. It also doesn't guarantee his health. How many times have we seen this in the past where Padres players, especially pitchers, have come back from quote unquote injury and were quote unquote okay to go and quote unquote were not? This has happened many times in the very recent past. So I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch.
Well, with the Fernando injury, apparently Fernando was cleared to DH or to hit yesterday if they needed a pinch hitting situation. He didn't because they were down by too much. But do we really believe the Padres when they tell us something like that? So 41-41, as you sit here now, Padres are good for the 3rd wild card spot in the National League, the final team to get into the postseason if the season ended today. Now, today they start a series with the Washington Nationals, who are actually the team immediately behind them. So as we play the little crystal ball game with the San Diego Padres and the up-down nature that has been this season, what would make sense for this series against the team who is chasing them in the wild card hunt as we're halfway through the season?
Yeah, I mean, what would make sense? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Nothing
Throw
makes
something
sense
at the
here.
board.
Yeah, what would make sense? That the Padres are going to finish the season 500. That's the only thing that makes sense. So
Correct.
wherever anybody else lands, the Padres are going to be 500 and not in the postseason is what it looks like to me at this point. I mean, that's the only thing that's been consistent on this team.
80 games left. What the Padres have taught us this season is you can trust what you saw to start the season. You can trust what you've seen as the season continued. And here, as we're nearing the All-Star break, you could trust that this is a 500 baseball team. And until proven otherwise, that's all they'll be this season, a 500 baseball team, just like they were last year. And guess what? That's pretty good because 500. Now, hang on.
Does AJ Preller have a job at 500?
Hang on. Now, so 500 these days with expanded postseason, it doesn't guarantee you a playoff position, but 500 gets you in the conversation. So the Padres, if they remain a 500 baseball team all season long, it's pretty good. It's not great. It's definitely not good. It's pretty good. It's just there. You're just kind of there. You're cruising through the season and you're a team. And maybe if you get hot in the postseason where you're scrunching your forehead, you're like, okay, sure. Yeah. Like you could win a World Series. Hard swallow. Like possibly this team is good enough that they could do that. When you squint and you look at their pitching staff, again, assuming health, they've got some real arms. They have some real talent on this staff. When you look at their lineup, no reason why this team shouldn't be able to make a deep run in the playoffs should they get there. So, yeah, look, I legislate the Padres as exactly as you said, TD, a 500 ball club, and that's pretty good. And if you're cool with pretty good, you're cool with what you've seen so far this year.
TD brought up a really good point. Does 500 keep AJ Preller's job? Now, there's a big difference between a 500 baseball team that gets knocked out in the wild card round and a 500 baseball team that makes a deep run in the NLDS or even gets to the NLCS. That's what's going to determine whether or not AJ Preller keeps his job. Because I personally think even a playoff run that ends early, say it's a 2-game sweep in the wild card round, that ain't good enough, AJ. And there's new ownership, there's new people making the decisions that may not have the same leniency that Peter Seidler had with AJ Preller.
Well, if you're a 500 baseball team trying to make it to the postseason, you are just hoping that other teams suck worse than you.
Which in the National League,
that's it.
It's not the worst strategy right now.
But
The National League is pretty bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's think you're at game 158. You're heading into game 159, and you're sitting at 500. The Padres can string together wins.
Yeah.
If you have 159 and you go on a 4-game winning streak, you're probably in the playoffs.
Look, if the Padres go 500 and they get knocked out in the wild card round or they don't make the playoffs, then AJ Preller is going to lose his job. I mean, I can say that with some level of certainty that AJ Preller is no longer going to be the president of baseball operations or the general manager for the San Diego Padres. And the reason why is because there's dissolution of responsibility when somebody as important as Peter Seidler passes away. You have a situation where he dies, and if he was the main decision maker as to why Peter Seidler, or I should say AJ Preller, was given that role, then the rest of the people in the front office can look at each other and go, was it you that advised Peter?
And frankly, kept that role as long as he did, because there's been multiple times throughout my time here on San Diego Sports 760 or the predecessor Extra 1360 where I was like, oh, if the Padres don't work out this season, Preller's done.
I will spin it and say this.
8 months ago, I said he was done.
If AJ Preller keeps his job and they go 500 and miss the postseason, I mean, you got to give credit to AJ Preller, right? I mean, because
guy is magic.
He's already the third longest tenured general manager in the National League.
But can you imagine the guy's magic? He's a wizard. I mean, he's Dumbledore. He's Darth Vader. He has a unique brand of the dark force running through his system. It's unbelievable.
But also, if this team goes on a winning streak and they make the postseason and make a run in the postseason, you also have to give credit to AJ Preller. You have to give credit to a guy who was able to assemble this team and cut the budget by what, $80 million?
Depending on what happens at the trade deadline, which again, AJ Preller's either going to get a ton of credit for, a ton of blame for, whatever happens at this trade deadline.
By the way, here's what sucks. A year ago, heading into the trade deadline, you were like, oh, God, do they sell things off? It doesn't look good. Or do they push all the chips into the middle of the table? And they
I was
push the
shouting,
chips in.
Josh Hader and Blake Snell need to be traded at the trade deadline, and they didn't do it.
Blake Snell, have you looked at his stats?
Hasn't he been pretty bad?
Yeah, well, I think he's injured now, but when 3 starts, he's 0 for 3. I think his ERA is about 9.5.
Dude, I said this when teams were not buyers with Blake Snell as a free agent. I said the problem for Blake Snell is how bad he was when he made the transition from Tampa Bay to San Diego. You have to wait like a season and a half to get Blake Snell to look like Blake Snell. And everybody's like, yeah, I mean, do we have that kind of time? I mean, it's just like, I don't really love that.
But correct me if I'm wrong here. Padres did not make the postseason last year.
Oh, they did not.
Josh
They did
Hader and
not.
Blake Snell are no longer on the Padres.
No.
And the Padres got exactly nothing to show for them.
Well, so I told you this when you said it at the deadline last year. Depending on how it worked out, I would give you your flowers if you're right, and you were 100% right.
See, but right now I sit here today thinking they need to add pieces to this team. Why do I have more faith in this year's team than I did last year's
Because
team?
look at the record. Look at the record.
Yeah.
So when you're a sub 500 team, even if you're like sub 500 by a couple of losses, like the Padres were at the deadline last year, your mood is negative. Like if the Padres, for example, right before the deadline, lose 7 straight, right? And okay,
Trade them all.
I mean,
Shut it down.
I mean, but that's where we were. Like
Yeah.
the Padres were like, they were doing this thing where they were like getting near 500 and then they'd lose a couple games and getting near 500 and losing a couple of games. So they weren't even cresting the hill like we got to enjoy so far this season. Enjoy. Like we've really, I mean, we're in 7th place in that now. We're like, oh, thank you. Like it's just been such a struggle. But
So we got around a month
last year it's
and,
worse.
and the All-Star break in between now and the trade deadline. The trade deadline's at the very end of July,
yes.
I think. And so
Yes,
we
you
got
got
about a month here where the Padres can make or change what we expect them to do at the trade deadline. And I kind of feel like they're still going to be 500 when we get to the trade deadline.
Yeah, last season was tough because they were always chasing 500. They were always that the pendulum that you talk about this year, Rich, swung at about 3 or 4 games below 500.
Yeah.
That's where you were. Now this season they've notched it up 4 or 5 games, and now that pendulum swings right at 500. So yeah, I would say they're about a 4 or 5 game better team this year.
All right, coming up next, we have New Kids on the Block tickets. We'll tell you how to win those. And also, we had a little golf tourney on Friday we got to recover from. But first, this.
We were just talking about the Padres. They did win 3 out of 4 this weekend over the Brewers at Petco Park. No days off for the Pods. They're on a stretch of like 24 games in 25 days. It's crazy.
off. No days 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 off.
That was fun.
Well, that
I
was
like
also,
that.
I think that's the iHeart mantra.
That's the iHeart mantra. That's the Ornberger special. That's also the New England Patriots chant at their Super Bowl parade.
Golly.
Oh,
And now
So, anyways, the next 3 are against the Washington Nationals at Petco Park over the next 3 days. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Matt Waldron on the mound. Matt Waldron, by the way, has been the underlying star of this
Stud.
team so far this year.
stud.
Yu Darvish set to make his return tomorrow against the Nationals. Sticking with baseball, Mets closer Edwin Diaz ejected from the game last night after the umpires found super sticky, or what was it? Excessive sticky?
Excessively sticky
Excessively sticky stuff on his hand before he even threw a pitch. And in golf, this was very good video over the weekend as Scotty Scheffler wins the Travelers in spite of climate protesters delaying the tournament on the 18th green. So there were 6 of them that all ran out with like smoke bombs. What were those things?
Yeah.
Paint canisters,
Yeah.
smoke bombs.
And there was somehow 75 security guards, like 5 of them for each protester.
What was it that was hurting the climate at the golf tournament?
I would say
dude.
the paint canisters that they were
Yeah, right,
throwing
right.
around.
Yeah, everybody knows that golf leads to greenhouse gases. It's the methane from the hot dog and pimento and cheese eating miscreants who show up in polo shirts and khaki shorts those dirty methane producing undulates.
We're wearing shirts that said "No golf on a dead planet."
By the
I
way,
believe it's the water that is used to make all those fairways green.
Oh,
you
Oh.
knew these were useless, terrible, unrefined, disgusting protesters when they ran through the bunkers and they didn't even rake their footsteps.
that's right.
And
That's
I-
right.
How could
The
they?
entire
Yeah.
time I was watching the video, the only thing I was thinking was, get off the freaking green, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you are ruining putting lies.
So we're not even going to give like the organization they belong to any
No.
shine. But that was actually a pretty cool tournament. Scotty Scheffler ends up winning, like you mentioned. He now ties Tiger with the most tournament wins or tour wins over the course of a golf season. We'll get back to that.
6 wins and 14 starts this season for Scotty Scheffler.
Did we win on Friday?
No.
No, we did not. So we ended up going to the tent after the Jesse Lozano one more win golf tournament. After playing, we played a playoff hole also.
Yeah.
So
For
Scott-
no real reason.
Yeah, right. Which, by the way, I felt bad because we didn't make it back to the venue, the tent, I guess,
until it was over.
until it was over.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I didn't get to say bye to anybody who came out.
And we
So-
didn't get to eat the pizza.
We'll never do that again.
Yeah.
Do you hear us, Dave Saunders?
Yeah.
And we know you're driving in because you're the first sales guy through the door every day here at iHeart San Diego. But Dave Saunders, Jake Morales, another sales guy here, they were finishing up with their group and they saw us on our final tee and they were like, wait a second. We should play a whole nother hole again. And we're like, we're pretty drunk and exhausted, but
Right.
that sounds great. Let's do it. And so we went out there, absolutely embarrassed ourselves off the tee box, except for Fletch. He had a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
time.
That's right.
And then
All of a sudden, Fletch in the ankle came alive about hole 10.
the back nine.
Yeah.
Dude, we made the turn and so did his ankle. All
Golly.
and by the way, to his credit and to the course's credit, not a single acorn in sight.
Mm-mm. We
So
did check beforehand.
We spoke with Todd, the assistant golf pro at the links at the Lake House in San Marcos. And Todd, thank you so much for joining us. Also, thank you for warning the greenskeepers to pick up
Right.
all of those oak tree
Right.
droppings. I like to call them. I don't even like to say the word
Nuh-uh.
acorn around
Mm-mm.
Fletch. I
Thank
know
you.
he gets a little shy.
You're right.
Also, thank you to Todd for telling me to find a new sport.
Yeah.
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 I told you to go play pickleball.
Yeah, he said, my advice to you is pickleball. That's what he said when we asked him for golf advice.
I don't feel like
Seriously,
he's
though, go
wrong.
play that golf course. Like, how cool was that?
was
So
great.
I
Oh,
guess
it's great. Yeah.
15, 20 years ago, it was considered kind of a dump. And then they came in, and as the neighborhood value in San Marcos started to go up, they were like, well, we need a badass golf course. So they really transformed that
Huh.
entire place, and it was awesome.
Man.
Fairways were great. Greens were great. I had a blast.
The clubhouse is awesome. The bar is awesome.
Oh.
The restaurant's awesome. The place is absolutely beautiful. And a huge, huge thank you to everyone who came out, everyone who played along. Man, it was a blast to get to see you guys throw
Captain
some high
Wonderful?
fives. Yeah, Captain Wonderful. My boy Kenny.
Eric, his whole group was awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there were Jesse did it right. Again, hosts of Jesse and Tati in the morning on Star 94.1. Shelly Brown was in our group, the
Yeah.
producer of that show. She easily was we used the most shots from Shelly's round during our best ball scramble because Shelly, I feel like was the most sober of the group.
Yeah, until maybe the last 3 holes, because all of a sudden there was like 12 Jello shots in our cart that were sitting there, and she decided we need to get rid of these.
Yeah, and there's only one way.
Exactly.
The Jello shots, and it's down the hatch.
Yeah.
So it got wild toward the end there. Also, I think I set us up for a disastrous round of golf when I shotgunned a beer holding a bazooka, a golf ball bazooka,
No.
and fired it
No.
under my
No.
arm backwards.
No.
I completely forgot that happened.
No.
That was the coolest part of the entire day.
It was absolutely spectacular. So we roll up to the hole.
Who has
You
that
can-
video?
You can use the bazooka. I don't know. I don't know where it was, where it is. I don't know whose phone it was
Oh,
used.
you know who it might be? The video might be on Tony Conja's phone. Keg and bottle owner, you know him from Bar Car Fridays. He came out with us after Bar Car Friday.
Yeah.
He might have the video of the the golf ball.
I was literally like setting up Venmo at the time when it was happening to send $20 so I could shoot the bazooka. And then I turned around and saw you doing it, and it was perfect. And I was like, never mind, $20 staying on my phone. That was perfect. I'm not doing better than that.
So Rich rolls up to the hole, grabs a beer. Was it a Nova beer? Is that what it was?
I forget. It was gone.
It was
quickly.
in the Mount Crushmore of beers.
Yeah.
Is what it was poured into. So the Bald Eagle beer bong, a full beer gets poured in. Rich downs the beer in second. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he just shotgunned it out of the can.
Oh,
Either
I-
way,
It was
they
out of the
handed you
can.
the, they
It was a
handed you the
gaping
cannon.
hole.
They handed you the cannon, and you just tucked it under your arm. No look, fired it off. It was perfectly straight, perfect angle. I don't think it could have gone any farther. And then we blew it from that point.
And we bogeyed that hole.
yeah.
Yeah. Somehow
It was like a 400-yard drive. We bogeyed that hole.
like I said, I think I somehow set us up for disaster after that. Either way, thanks to Jesse Lozano. Thanks for Tony Conja for
Yeah.
coming along with us. Shelly Brown for being a part of our group.
By the way, Tony, on a Bar Cart Friday, thank you again for bringing everything in. We did some Bloody Mary mixes. And then he packed up an entire ice chest
Yeah.
filled with treats for us.
Yeah.
And it was put on the wrong cart, and then we could never find it again.
No,
So
Somebody had an
yeah.
awesome day.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody had an awesome day on Keg and Bottle, 10 locations around San Diego.
I don't like to toot my own horn, guys. I really don't. And I feel
No.
like this is going to be the one that I'm going to.
Wait a second.
It has
This-
nothing to
this
do
is a
with
guy-
golf.
This is a guy who does not toot his own
No,
horn.
this has nothing to do with golf or the golf that was played.
Benjamin Humility Fletcher.
It was on probably our 14th hole,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
in reality, it would have been what, like the 12th hole or something, depending on whatever. We set up one of those cameras to take a picture, and it had like the 10-second countdown.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you guys remember the timing of the fart that I blasted off?
Oh yeah,
How
it was
perfect it
spectacular.
was?
I couldn't.
and you tooted your own horn.
I have not stopped thinking about it.
I was so impressed that I didn't know it was you actually until this moment.
Well, I
because-
blame Tony immediately.
Well, so yeah, I was like, whoever did that, they held that for 10 seconds and was
or
just
10
like,
holes.
just like, no, not yet.
No, not until we take a picture. That photo was posted online by Shelly Brown, and then Big Boss Noreen commented on it, and the comment was, "What the hell are those shoes, Travis?
Yeah, well,
you were wearing like J's, weren't you?
They're golf shoes."
oh yeah, I think they're sweet.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about. Those are sweet.
I got it hammered. It's fine.
The two best words in sport: meet the best pair we've ever seen. That story coming up next. But first, I want to talk to you about a guy who had a set on him as well, man. And it wasn't. It was.
And I wasn't proud of him.
It was.
All right.
Yeah, he wasn't flashing them at
No.
Edmonton Oilers games.
No.
No.
The dude had chin boobs.
No.
Yeah.
How do you even do that? We don't know.
Listen,
He would
Listen.
walk around the office wearing a chinzier.
it's a little overweight, all right? Come on, guys. It happens. Happens as you get older. Look, in fact, not only was I overweight, I didn't really know where to start. We tried a lot of the fad diets, and we'd lose a couple pounds, and then we'd stop the fad diet, and I'd gain a few pounds back, and it was kind of a bummer. It was depressing, and I'd been there a multitude of times in my life, and just thought, I don't know how to get out of this rut. I don't know how to get out of this hole. And Wayne and Chloe over at SD Fat Loss stepped in and said, "Let us try. Let us help you out." And so we just followed along. We did what they said to do. They said in 8 weeks, we're going to lose 20 to 30 pounds. That seemed impossible. 8 weeks went by. I was down 31 pounds.
Yep.
Rich is down 35 pounds. Fletch on the wagon again here, pushing 50 pounds lost. It's incredible. SDFatLoss.com. It works. It works. So if you're trying to lose this unwanted weight, if you're trying to figure out how to get something jump started with some kind of diet, and you don't want to exercise, or you don't want to count points or calories or do any of that stuff, because look, it's hard. It is hard to do. I have tried it. I'm sure you've tried it as well. And maybe the weight just doesn't come off. Let SD Fat Loss help and let the weight come off with them. Look, it's a free consultation they'll set up with you when you go there. Wayne and Chloe, they'll sit down, the staff, the coaches, they'll sit down with you, and they'll show you what's going to happen. They'll tell you the plan. They'll put together a perfect plan, tailor-made for you so you can lose weight fast. And then the best part is you're going to keep that weight off, because look, it has been 6, 7, 8 months now since we stopped this thing, and I'm keeping that weight off. I want you to do the same thing. Go there, SDFatLoss.com. Mention the show, Big Rich, Seedy, and Fletch. Save yourself $200, SDFatLoss.com. Keep up with San Diego Sports 760 anytime, anywhere. Whether you're stepping out of the car or settling in at home, just ask your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or stream it live through the iHeartRadio app. It's never been easier to stay connected to your favorite shows like this one right here. Big Rich, TD and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760 goes where you go.
This update is presented by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Padres took 3 out of 4 from the Brewers at Petco Park over the weekend. No days off for the Pods. They're welcoming the Nationals to town for the next 3. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Matt Waldron on the mound. Yu Darvish set to make his return tomorrow. Sticking with baseball, Mets closer Edwin Diaz ejected from the game last night before he even threw a pitch because of excessive sticky stuff on his hand. And in golf, Scotty Scheffler wins the Travelers. That's his 6th win in 14 events this season. After Amelia got home from Iraq, she was able to enroll in VA healthcare, and she knows that the VA is going to be there for her when she needs it. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov. Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Yeah, you're listening to a little royalty-free New Kids on the Block. If you'd like to hear the real New Kids on the Block, well, stay tuned because we do have a pair of tickets we're going to be giving away. They're going to be playing July 7th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Deets and seats, Ticketmaster.com.
Damn right.
Keep it locked in here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can buy them. You can buy them. I wouldn't suggest it for the next 2.5 hours because
you got a chance to win them.
you got a chance to win them.
July 7th is my brother's birthday. Maybe him and I can roll out the New Kids on the Block together.
I'll tell you what, maybe you, him, and maybe Steve Hartman, whose birthday is the 4th of July. Maybe the 3 of you guys.
Good Lord.
Can you imagine?
That would be the most fun I've ever had. We're all
Travis,
What
is this music?
We absolutely need to get Steve Hartman and Travis Dale locked into a room together
Fletch,
at some point.
you told me that these golf shoes would be $90. She has tried to sell me them for $145.
Good Lord. I just saw him yesterday. I'm telling you right now, if the walls could talk, it's Fox Sports Radio. I mean,
from what he was talking about?
oh, dude, I can't even.
There wasn't anything orange, was there?
I can't even tell you guys that. I have to wait until you guys are older.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it was. Oh, hot damn. If you know Steve, you know
Hello,
what I'm talking
Rich.
about. Yeah. It's been a long time, Richie. Got to tell you about last week's date night. You know what? I'd rather you didn't, Steve. Well, so anyways, anyways.
Have you ever been to Morton's?
So
Have you ever been to Morton's?
Yeah, with Steve.
so good.
It was fantastic.
The best two words in sports are Morton Steakhouse. No, I'm kidding. The best two words in sports. Game 7.
Yeah.
That's taking place tonight. Puck drops at 5. We got the Stanley Cup final. It's going to be your Edmonton Oilers, who've stormed all the way back into this one, taking on the Florida Panthers. It's going to be in Florida in front of the home arena there, where really Panthers fans, they thought this was going to be an easy cup. I mean, they cruised out to a 3-0 whatever you call it, disparity. It looked like this was going to
Real
be
lead.
a sweep,
Right.
and
And
it's
Oilers said we can do 3 in a row too.
anything but a sweep.
Right.
It's pretty crazy. So
Now, there has actually been, so in basketball, it's like 156-0 teams that have a 3-0 series lead. In hockey, it looks like 4 teams actually have come back in playoff history to win trailing 3-0.
in playoff history, only
1.
one, and it was the Toronto Maple Leafs of
1942.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that were
been a
able to
minute.
come back. Yeah.
How about
And Stanley
NHL? NHL making things fun here in the postseason and completely dominating as far as excitement level versus the NBA finals.
Dude, the NHL has a great opportunity here as more and more sports fans are turning to storylines that are more exciting. Like, for example, the WNBA, some of these games, especially when the Sky play the Fever, and they did again yesterday, so we're waiting to see what the TV rating overnights are going to look like for that matchup between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese again, as they reset for, I think, the 3rd time during the regular season. There's only 12 teams in the WNBA, but I digress. Like the NBA, they're losing steam. And they had a terrible playoff season. If there's one word to characterize the NBA's playoff season, forgettable.
Yeah.
I mean, the Celtics, they won it. They won their 18th, and that's an NBA finals record. But to be perfectly honest with you,
Well, the conference finals weren't even good.
the biggest storyline out of that win was how lame Jason Tatum was.
Yeah, which is great.
The whole postseason was lame.
But
I can't even pinpoint a single series and say that was, maybe it was the Timberwolves win, that one series. I can't remember who they were playing against.
Yeah,
But
nor
the
can I.
NBA playoffs this year were ridiculous and non-competitive.
Well,
Now you get hockey. They have boobs, competitive series.
Yeah.
They have this Connor
Fights.
McDavid kid who's a stud on the Oilers, and it's like they have fun.
By
Good
the way,
for hockey.
the NBA playoffs that were so boring were so long.
Yeah.
So it was
2.5 months.
so long of boring. Well, I mean,
2.5 months of sweeps, by the way.
from the conference finals to the end of the finals, which really was the snoozer of it all, was 5-6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing about hockey is, like, this could be a fun game for all the reasons that the NBA cannot, because the Panthers, if the Panthers are anything, they're a more physical team. The Oilers are more finesse. They have, as you mentioned, Connor McDavid, who is the next best hockey player since Gretzky. I mean, that's who he's being compared to as a young man.
It's like
And this-
Jackson Merrill.
right? You Jackson Merrill, the next Willie Mays. He's already, I mean, truthfully, he went on a tear of home runs recently that rivaled that of
It was the best in Major League history.
Yeah.
Only with Fernando Tatis Jr. and Juan Soto.
it's unreal.
It was like 6 in 10 games or 7 in 10 games. Can't remember.
Jackson Merrill is, anyways, we'll get back to the Padres, but this Connor McDavid kid's really good. The problem is the Oilers are really fast. They're really agile on their skates. The Panthers, you know what they did in the first couple of games? They beat the snot out of the Oilers. Like, they were rough and tough and physical. They sicked their goons on them. Like, you need to hit the ice. And I mean, hit it. Like, you've got to,
Right.
if the Oilers are going to beat you on your home ice, it better be because they outlived a war. So that's the beautiful thing about hockey that you don't get in the NBA. You're going to see, if they're smart, the chess match turn into war waged in Florida tonight, and I can't wait for it. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
I'm gonna watch
because-
that hockey.
Oh, we're gonna watch that hockey.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that hockey. And then any chance that Oilers girl Kate is there?
Oh, there's absolutely a chance. In fact, I know she's going to be there. She has turned.
But this is in Florida.
This is in Florida, but she has turned into an overnight superstar.
Right.
I mean-
Who stayed pretty quiet for a couple weeks. Now turns out she's inked a deal.
Inked a deal with Playboy.
Of course.
And there's two very big reasons why. And
and she's already shown those reasons.
yeah, well, and so you can get the free one still online at x.com, but you'll have to pay a subscription to see whatever spread that Playboy does on Kate. Look, the point is though, this series has been so much more fun than the NBA finals. I mean, this series has had outside storylines. It's obviously had interest on the ice. It's been everything the NBA hasn't been. It's going to turn a lot of NBA fans into hockey fans with this Game 7, especially if it goes the way I think it's going to go, where you have speed and flash and agility taking on the bruising style of the Florida Panthers.
Well, this is just fun sports.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be an NBA fan converting to hockey. This is just a sports fan going, it's Game 7.
Yeah.
Look at the storylines here. They were down 3-0. They've won 3 in a row. And there's so many different facets to this that are fun. So just if you're in general a fan of sports, this is where you get excited.
Question in hockey. Now, I don't watch hockey. I never really have. But I'm
Mhm.
gonna watch tonight. And I'm excited for it. In the UFC, you know, when somebody like gets really bloodied up,
Yeah.
that blood stays on the mat for the entire event. It just gets washed up and bleached or whatever, but the blood's there.
Yeah.
In hockey, does the blood stay on the ice?
Oh yeah.
Until the Zamboni comes by.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some blood tonight.
Yeah, once like at period intermissions, they bring the Zamboni out and they go around the ice and they
Does it
clean
not
up.
just smear the blood a little
Well,
bit?
what it actually does, these are ingenious machines.
Well, it like drops water and then it refreezes, right?
It boils the top level of the ice as it goes, and then it has a squeegee in the back.
Yeah.
And it just you know, and so since it's refrigerated or frozen ice, you know, it refreezes behind it. It's really smart.
And boiling water freezes much, much quicker than cold water.
Is that real?
Yeah, because it's releasing. There's the energy transfer is so much quicker.
I think we tried it in college and it made no difference
Interesting.
because
You
we
did it
heard that
wrong.
in one of the labs, and then we went home and boiled water and had still water and put them both in the freezer. You just can't really time it right because you can't open up the freezer. Whatever, not important.
We
You need
get it.
2 freezers. You need to do a countdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute. All you'd have to do is have both of them in your hand. One of them is not cold. The other one's boiling. Put them at the same time.
Well, we tried to put a phone in the freezer to like videotape it, and it turns out the phone stops working before they freeze.
Tell you what, that's Merced science class right there.
That was
There's
Cal
no-
Poly San Luis
Oh,
Obispo.
okay, all right.
Put
Or
a,
Cal
put a
Poly.
phone in,
In a
that
house
iron.
full of people who previously lived in Merced.
Put a phone. We got to have eyes on the prize in there. Hey, how come the light turned off?
Yeah. Hey, tell Mitchell get out of the freezer. Tell him we need to give him that torch ladder. Hey y'all. If you're interested in giving back, the San Diego Giving Back Raffle is interested in you. So what does the San Diego Giving Back Raffle represent or help out? Well, San Diego's Ronald McDonald House, which is an essential community resource. Their first mission over there at Ronald McDonald is provide a home away from home to families with a child in the hospital. Mission 2 is to keep families close to their hospitalized child. Pretty good cause. Pretty great cause, as a matter of fact. Ronald McDonald House provides overnight stays, meals, schooling for siblings, overall peace of mind for parents so that they can focus on their child's health and recovery. While this hospital across the street treats patients, Ronald McDonald House cares for those families. So the raffle is a win-win opportunity. You give back to this community that we all love while gaining a chance to win one of thousands of amazing prizes. Purchase a raffle ticket to support Ronald McDonald House right now, and you could win a house. That's no joke. This year to enter, it's celebrating 20 years of giving back through San Diego's Giving Back Raffle. And now is the time to enter. There are drawings of more than $150 $50,000 in prizes. Prizes also include a 2024 Lexus convertible, a Safari, buy private jet, or cash. For a full list of the prizes or details, or on how to win or enter, visit sdraffle.com. That's sdraffle.com. Okay, coming up next, Jack's QB Trevor Lawrence says there's no added pressure. Okay, we'll discuss that coming up next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. If you're New Kids on the Block fans,
I am.
and I know we are, you can see them July 7th at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. All you got to do is listen to this show. Also, you can buy seats and you can get some deets at Ticketmaster.com. But yeah, we'll tell you how to win those tickets coming up here very shortly.
Please don't go, girl. I don't know what it says after that.
Nobody does.
Yeah, it doesn't
honestly.
matter.
In fact, to find out how that song finishes, you just
gotta
keep go. You just keep waiting for New Kids on the Block tickets. Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback. He had a little bit of a press conference, little chat.
Oh, God, that feels good.
Yeah, that does feel good. Play the horn.
What's our countdown right now?
Yeah. Could you look
It's
that up?
72 days?
72 days, but let me double check.
That also feels good.
He was speaking out about this new contract.
72 days, 17 hours, 9 minutes, 23 seconds.
Playing quarterback in this league is pressure anyways, he said on Thursday. I guess on the outside, there's going to be a bigger expectation with the long-term deal and being a franchise quarterback and having the contract. It may change how other people look at it, but for me, I think I've kind of always carried that responsibility anyways. Being a starting quarterback in this league is a big responsibility, and the team goes as you go, and I know that. So I'm not going to add any pressure. I'm just going to be myself. After getting this contract, it doesn't really change what I expect of myself or what the team expects of me. It's that last couple of words where he's wrong. So yeah, Trevor, it shouldn't change the way you approach the game. It shouldn't change your expectations of yourself, because if you're worth the contract, you should have expected that level of, play from yourself from the jump. So I agree with all that, but it definitely changes the way the team expects what the team expects of you.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars just gave you some part of $1 billion guaranteed. You're going to earn a bigger portion of $1 billion over the next bunch of years. Yeah, they expect a lot more from you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Rich. But you have to be in that mindset, though. Otherwise, it crushes you a little bit. Do you have to be in the mindset? No, I'm just going to go out there and play. I'm just going to go out there and do what they already are paying me to do.
No, you shouldn't. Like, personally, and that's the reason why I said I agree with everything he said. As an athlete, this is going to sound crazy, but when I was playing, and by the way, I'm much smaller contracts, but you're in the NFL, there's 70,000 people in the stands, or you're playing in college football, there's 100,000 fans in the stands. You don't think about that. In fact, you almost pretend or make it up in your mind like you're annoyed that they're even involved. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like that there's anything other than just beating the crap out of the guy in front of you or beating the team in front of you. Like, that's the only thing that matters to you in that moment. Now, when you kind of widen the aperture and you look at the bigger picture, you can get lost in the sauce. And there are times where during my career, I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like,
right.
You have a little bit of that imposter syndrome sometimes, but you got to beat down those demons, and you just got to play football the way you always did, even as a kid.
When I think about like some of the greats of the game, and maybe it's a great trick that they've all pulled on me, and it's the way the PR has been set up, but I think about Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes or a Phillip Rivers even. Money never even enters the conversation into my head. It always feels like the expectations they made were for themselves. And it's like, you're going to have to drag me off this field because I have an expectation for myself that's so much higher than a team or a fan could ever have.
That is the smartest thing I've ever heard. That is the most eloquent way to put it.
That is the nicest thing Rich Orberger's ever said.
Wow.
No, I'm telling you, like, that is it. That's exactly it. The best players look like they're out there because that's what they would be doing if they were getting $0.
Or if they had to pay to be out there.
100%. Like, Patrick Mahomes makes you believe that even if his legs were falling off, he would probably pay someone to be on the field.
Yeah.
In all situations. He's that type of competitor. I mean, that's exactly it. That's Steph Curry. That's LeBron James. That's Michael Jordan.
Brett
That's
Favre
Tiger
out
Woods. That's Brett Favre.
Man.
I mean,
Brett Favre, I don't know.
guys,
Brett Favre. Brett
think
Favre
Brett
would
Favre
get
was-
rocked
Right, but I think he was motivated by, never mind.
well, we
by Vicodin.
we did see he did get a little
Yeah.
squirrely there when he was the
Listen,
New York
it was-
Jets quarterback.
There's a new technology.
Yeah,
Camera on your phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody-
Check it out.
Nobody's gonna know it's me. Brett, you're wearing the same G-Shock watch you were in the picture. Right, but everybody owns a Casio.
Yeah. You don't put your G-Shock watch on that?
Holy cow.
It's all about framing, Brett. Come on.
Trevor Lawrence, I'm looking at this photo of him here. He looks like if Pizza Hut had a recruitment commercial.
Yeah.
And it was like a guy started out as a delivery guy, and then he made it to where he could actually cook the pizzas. And now he moved up. He was working cashier. And now this photo I'm looking at right here, he just became a manager of his own Pizza Hut.
Dude, 1000%. Like, I love
know
Pizza
this
Hut
guy.
because
He kind of looks like Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
they're not just about stuffing crust. They're about stuffing your bank account with Joe,
They
bro.
give you the tools.
Yeah.
Does Trevor Lawrence have it?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's intangibly.
Okay, the Jags won 9 games last year, right?
Yeah.
Their Vegas line is set at 8.5 this year.
Okay, so look at every great quarterback. I'll show you a pretty talented offensive line typically. I'll show you a pretty talented group of receivers typically. I'll show you a pretty talented running back typically, pretty good coach typically. Like, I think he's got some of that. And by the way, his best year was when he had the best offensive line he played with. And then there were a bunch of injuries last year. He wasn't well protected. Like, if you look at his correlation is directly related to his offensive line. When he has time in the pocket, he's really, really successful.
He had Travis Etienne last year, who went over 1,000 yards. It was his best year as a pro. I think it was year 2. Year 1, he was injured the whole time. But year 2, Travis Etienne looked great. You expect that to build on this year?
I think so. And
Jags, would you go higher, 8.5?
I'd go higher. I think the Jaguars
By a half.
So 9 wins again?
I could see. Look, that's not a great division if you think about it. I mean, the jury's out on Richardson in Indianapolis. The Tennessee Titans are kind of a mess. You got to compete against Houston twice, but can you squint and see them stealing a win against Houston?
I could.
I can.
So right now, Vegas has a 27.03% chance to win the AFC South, which I'm assuming that the Texans probably have the highest chance.
Yeah.
And then it might be Jags.
Yeah, I would say, they're firmly in second place in that division. And if things break their way in there, and I don't know what their schedule looks like at all. I haven't done the deep dive on any of these teams yet. But if the schedule suits them, where it breaks their way that they're playing teams at the right time, this could be a double-digit win team this year. And Trevor Lawrence also, some players play better when there's a sense of security, when they know, okay, my future's taken care of. All I got to worry about is just playing the best football possible. Certain guys, it ruins them. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is that guy, though.
I don't have the trust factor in him anymore. I lost it.
Is it because of the hair?
Partly.
Also, it's because his name, it says managing partner, and then there's a colon, and then it says Trevor Lawrence on that Pizza Hut in Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you, Pizza Hut.
Duval.
Duval County's finest. All right. Still no official word. And it's starting to get weird. We'll cover that storyline along with Morning Monologues coming up next.
Hour number 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by MGM Rewards. Padres took 3 out of 4 from the Brew Crew at Petco Park over the weekend. No days off for the Pods. They're welcoming the Nationals to town for the next 3. First pitch tonight, 6:40. Matt Waldron on the mound. Yu Darvish set to make his return from the IL tomorrow against the Nationals. Sticking with baseball, Mets closer Edwin Diaz ejected from the game last night after the umpires found sticky stuff on his hand before he threw a pitch. And in golf, Scotty Scheffler wins the Travelers in spite of climate protesters delaying the tournament on the 18th green. Scheffler wins it in a playoff to continue his ridiculous 2024 6 wins in 14 events this season for Scotty. Hey, pool season fanatics, your summer persona is calling. It's time for sun-soaked party scenes at MGM Grand, new luxury cabanas at Bellagio and Sandy Beach, living at Mandalay Beach. Show off your poolside only with MGM Rewards. Visit mgmrewards.com for details.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, happy Monday to those who celebrate right here on San Diego Sports 760 up until 9 o'clock. Then the herd will take over. Before then, we're going to be giving away New Kids on the Block tickets, so you just lock it in. Speaking of New Kids on a Block, JJ Redick. I mean, where he at? We were told last week he was the new kid on the block. He was the new head coach of your Los Angeles Lakers.
That's right.
We don't know if that's the case because the Lakers have made no official announcement. LeBron James, who, by the way, is the Lakers, has made no official announcement. It has been all mum's the word on the Laker front. And the NBA draft, I believe, is Wednesday. I mean, you could double check my work here, but I'm pretty sure they're about to draft LeBron's son, and they may do so without an official head coach.
Do you need JJ Redick though to do that? I mean, you got LeBron there.
That's a good point. That's
Wednesday,
a good point.
June 26th.
Yeah, there you
Son
have
of a
it.
gun.
So wow. I think it's so. All right, let's talk about a timeline. Like, you know how in elementary school when you're doing like number lines, it's like, okay, so Johnny has 17 apples.
Right.
Sarah gave him her 8. How many apples does Johnny have? And then you got to go 1, 2, 3. You got to go down the number line to get to the 8th. And then you're like, 8 apples plus 17 is 27 apples. No, it is not. That would be if you added 10 apples. Okay, going back to the drawing board. So I don't know. There's a sequence to things, is what I'm trying to say.
I get you.
And it sort of feels like are we about to skip one of these apples?
It just dawned on me that maybe that's what JJ Redick wants to happen. Maybe he wants LeBron to draft his own son. So if it just goes south, he can be like, I don't know, it wasn't me.
You are so ahead of the curve. So I said this yesterday, and 100% that's where my brain went. If I'm JJ Redick, I am slowing down everything. I'm slowing down everything. Oh, yeah, 4 years, 32? That sounds pretty cool. Could you give me like 2 weeks?
So I didn't talk to my wife.
And they're like, 2 weeks? JJ, we got the draft coming up. Yeah, I get it. Okay, so maybe a week. Well, the draft is Wednesday. If we wait a week, that's all the way till next Thursday. Yeah, that's fine. You know what?
Wait, Wednesday? I got a dentist appointment Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday's no good for me, but you guys draft whoever you want. I'll be there Thursday. And they're like, yeah, but JJ, why do you shh. But you're absolutely right. The reason why JJ Redick, if he's a smart man, is going to stall this process of having the Lakers officially announce him. Because if JJ Redick gets to a podium today, which it's possible, the Lakers could all of a sudden spring it on us. Hey, at noon today, we're going to have a press conference, and everybody knows what that press conference will be. It's not going to announce LeBron James' retirement. It's not going to announce, a new contract extension for the King. It's going to be announcing JJ Redick as the next head coach of the Lakers. I don't think it happens, though, because if I'm in JJ's camp, I'm saying, buddy, do you want your first press conference or your second press conference to answer the question, hey, so how involved were you in the drafting of Bronny James? Mm-hmm. The answer is no. What you want to do is wait until after the draft, sign your contract. So when they say, hey, what did you think of the draft? You go, you know what? I think we got all the players we need to go win some games in the NBA.
Right.
And I'm excited to work with all the players they drafted.
Yeah, exactly.
Not for nothing, but happy birthday, JJ Redick. Today is the day. He's 40 years old today.
Wow.
So 40
Thank
years
goodness.
old. He's a very young head coach, first and foremost, in the NBA. Secondly, he's only the 13th hire ever not to have previous coaching experience in the NBA.
That's
This is a tall
That's
road to
insane.
hoe for JJ Redick. And I think you're probably right, TD and Rich, about the trying to wait. And so he has total deniability over this draft, because this draft could end up going down as one of the worst drafts in NBA history, as the Lakers are still held hostage to LeBron James.
Yeah, that may be part of his deal. I mean, it may be
I don't
part of
want
it.
to
May be
be
part,
included in this draft process.
That could be. Or it, on the flip side, they could say, yeah, you ain't stalling anymore because part of the deal is we're announcing you beforehand.
And we need you to be the head that we chop when this draft goes horribly wrong.
1,000%.
If it were up to me, I would have my camp say to the Lakers, listen, one thing at a time. How about we do this? How about we get the draft in the rearview mirror? How about we get LeBron James under contract? And if those two things happen, then I'll be your next head coach, because he knows that LeBron wants him to be the coach. Do you want to be the Lakers' next head coach without LeBron James? My answer is no.
No.
My answer is no. If I'm JJ Redick, that's the whole reason I'm going to the Lakers. So I have two requests. Yeah, listen, I don't want to be there because I have nothing to do with this draft anyways. I don't want to be there before there because then I'm going to have to answer to this later on. Two, I'm only coming because LeBron James, the greatest basketball player of all time, is on your roster. And if he isn't, I'm going where he's going, or I'm not coaching. I'm just going to get back in the analyst booth for ESPN.
Plus, he's my buddy, and I want to hang out.
Yeah. Plus, me and him play. We're planning on playing a lot of NCAA football 25.
I'm not saying broadcasting is an easy job. Like, JJ Redick has a tough job, and I think he's pretty good at it personally. Like, watching the NBA Finals, I think he did a good job. Coaching is another level, though. So why leave the cushy job to go to that job?
The cushy job
What's going on with TD?
is really really
Look, that's
cool.
a very funny headline.
It's just a funny headline. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all.
buddy.
That's not real,
That's-
is it?
I don't know. We'll
Guys,
have to fact check before we can talk
Are we
about it.
talking about the MFL?
That is not real.
We will get back to that in a moment.
I mean, in
Dude, 1,000%.
Oh, yeah,
And by the way,
absolutely.
if they start putting those on Prize Picks,
Yeah. It's a lot of.
I'm going to
Okay.
drop my fascination with the WNBA. I will be all MFL. Anyways, back to JJ Redick. So if they do draft Bronny James, which it looks like they will, and they do extend LeBron James, assuming he wants to finish his career as a Laker for many years to come, how many championships are we thinking? We're thinking 2,
0.
3. What? What? With JJ Redick as a head coach?
2, 3.
he
He's
moves
got-
the
he's-
needle 0.
He's there for 4 years. You give him a 1-year ramp up and then 3-peat.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it'll be like the Jordan Bulls. I think LeBron will win 2, and then his contract will expire. He'll retire, and then Bronny James will lead them to their 3rd in a row.
LeBron James will never win another NBA championship.
Yeah, but dude, that's
Period.
what people said about Tiger Woods winning on the PGA Tour after the
Right.
car
Not me.
accident. I mean, well, neither did I.
Tiger's still going to win another like 4 majors.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing about great players is they always do the confounding thing. Tom Brady, when he left the Patriots, I won't win it with Tampa Bay. He won the first year.
Did you break your leg to be more like Tiger
Yep.
Woods?
I think he might have.
What? This is incredible.
And guess what? I finished 18 holes while drunk without much of an issue. Tiger,
Yeah, it's true.
but he walks.
You know what though? The front 9, you were complaining that you didn't know if you could do it, you didn't know if you could finish it. Then all of a sudden, when the driver came alive on the back 9, the pain went away.
No, the pain was there in a big way. In fact, on our 16th hole, I said to the group, I'm done. And then Tony threw a 3-wood into my hands and said, no, you're not.
Yeah, the boy Tony Concha, Cake and Bottle, 10 locations all throughout San Diego County.
He really helped us. He helped us in a big way. Oh, and the cigars from the humidor from Keg and Bottle.
Day nice.
You know, we don't talk about that enough, but at Keg and Bottle, all 10 locations, they also have a great selection of cigars.
Romeo y Julieta.
So if you are going to the golf course and you're picking up a 6-pack, that is for sure going to just stay in your home. You're definitely not going to bring it to the golf course because that would be illegal to
Right.
bring your own beer to a golf course.
That's correct.
Depending on the golf course.
Well, I
No,
mean,
but just to be safe.
yeah, dude, like we would never encourage anybody to do that. But cigars, yeah, go get you some.
You know the funny
couple
part about
cigars.
golf, and I'm gonna do a quick morning monologue without being a morning monologue.
Well, actually, save it. We're about to do our morning.
No, because I
monologue.
have a different one for that. But the funny thing about golf is golf bags are created with a million pockets in them, right? A
Mhm.
lot of those pockets, some of them even insulated, feel like they're perfect for hiding beers in them.
Yeah.
And so golf bags know that you're going to break the rules by going onto the golf course. And I think golf courses understand that you're also going to break the rules. Golf is just a really cool area of breaking rules because
Wait.
everyone also cheats. Everyone moves their ball when they're not supposed
You
to.
can
Everyone
have
cleans
an
their ball when they're not supposed to.
Open container while you're driving around on miniature roads.
It is the please never take this away
Dude,
from us. Like people who cancel things, don't cancel
listen,
golf.
I don't think it's cool to drink and drive. I don't.
No.
I listen. You know
No.
what? People call me crazy, but I'll stand on business and I'll say drinking and driving that ain't cool.
It's a good call.
But I will.
Nice thing to stand on.
But I will say
JT,
this.
we're talking to you.
Yeah. Okay, Justin, out in Southampton, or Sag Harbor, wherever he was, out on Long Island. Look, here's the deal. When I'm on a golf course, though, I feel like I am living out one of those like Grand Theft Auto fantasies.
You're
Like,
not supposed to be doing anything that you're actually doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it all
Right.
feels so right.
It does.
It's a
Feels
safe
good.
haven.
Did you see, by the way, Justin Timberlake, that turns out that as he was leaving the hotel, somebody at the hotel called the police and said, "Hey, heads up, Justin Timberlake's going to be driving down this road in about 1 minute."
that's just a
Dark.
concerned citizen.
That is a concerned
doing
citizen.
The right thing.
Well, tell you
Good
what,
job.
I mean,
And you know what?
looking at his mugshot, though, he didn't look like he was in great shape.
But I will say this: that same concerned citizen definitely didn't ask their teacher if there was homework on a Friday.
Right.
As the last bell rang, that
Golly.
concerned citizen at the hotel front desk definitely like never said anything like
No running in the hole.
like my shrimp is cold. Could you bring this back to the kitchen? Like definitely never did that.
After
either.
throwing this out
eating
there.
2/3 of it.
Yeah.
Why would that person not just say, "Hey, excuse me, Mr. Timberlake, we got a car for you"?
That was my thought as well.
Yeah, like
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and stop
why
it?
don't you be a guy or a gal and run over and be like, JT, big fan. I just ordered you an Uber.
Right. And then if he
And you can
complained,
even
be like,
say-
"Oh, cry me a
Just be
river."
like, "Oh, don't worry. Like, I just know there's a lot of police that are on this road, and if you're going that way, you might get in trouble."
Yes, that's what I think like a normal person would do, unless you were out to get Justin Timberlake.
Some people are cool though, like really, really cool, including the New Kids on the Block. So if you want to win those tickets, my goodness, you just hold on to your hats. We're going to be giving them away real soon. But first, this
Friday.
It is the morning monologue, and this is my opportunity to give an advisory. The hot weather is here, folks.
Ah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
If you are planning outdoor events, and all three of us partook in long, strenuous outdoor events, some more strenuous than others, this weekend, boy, oh boy, I caution you to hydrate. Maybe bring the dirt spoon with you. Just in case you have to vomit, you could bury it very quickly.
Again, I don't think it's that weird.
Yeah, oh, it's weird.
No,
Oh.
it's like, oh my God, I'm overexerting myself.
The guy
I'm gonna
who
be
has
sick.
like everything about you is kind of weird. This is the weirdest thing.
Oh, dude, yeah. And you own a lot of the weird stuff. You're like, yeah, this is the hill I need to die on. Vomiting in the backyard and burying it with a shovel.
If I'm already digging a hole, you know what? Here, I'll just scrape a little dirt over the top of that.
Again,
We're good to go.
which is why I get back to my original point, which is how many holes do you need? Honestly.
It depends on what's happening. Sometimes you finish a project and then there's another project.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
Anyways, it was so where I was in LA this weekend visiting in-laws, I drove up into what's called the Valley, the San Fernando Valley.
Oh, porn.
There's tons of porn. And apparently there's a Home Depot that is 120 degrees internal, because I was walking around looking for
It was 101 outside,
Oh, dude.
120 inside.
you nailed it. So it was 100 degrees when I arrived to this Silver Lake Home Depot. And then when I was walking the aisles, I kid you not, I was wearing a navy blue shirt like this one. I had a sweat ring down to my navel. I looked like you know how sometimes in the Die Hard movies, like the Bruce Willis got progressively sweatier as he's
Right.
solving more and more of the problems.
You were there for a half hour.
I
You're
had,
sweaty,
like-
you're dirty.
Yeah, I had like the scratches on the forehead with the butterfly bandage. I looked like I had just successfully defused a bomb when I got to the front desk and I was checking out. It was a disaster. So I caution anybody who is going to be doing yard work, going to an outdoor festival, heading to the SD Fair, whatever your business outdoors, go ahead and pack you some electrolytes.
Tell you why I really like this time of year, because like even if it's middle of winter, like it's 60 degrees outside in San Diego or even colder, like I'll still have pit sweat stains.
Oh yeah,
But this time of year, everybody has.
Everybody's got 'em.
and so
Yeah.
I'm just like a chameleon. I can blend right in.
you really are.
Sweet.
All right, well, that's my monologue, Fletch. What do you got for the folks?
Not complaining. I've had a lot of fun this summer so far. Over the last 6 weeks, I've not woken up in my own bed once on the weekend, which I'm not complaining about. Screw my own bed. It sucks, right?
Mm.
Is this life when you get to a certain age? Like we're just on the road all the time, and it's weddings. It's my kid or my niece and nephew are in town. We got to take them to Disneyland. Not complaining. A lot of fun. I've not been in my own bed one Saturday morning over the last 6 weeks. And guess what? Looking forward on my calendar, I'm not going to be for the next 3 either.
Well, maybe that's life. When you have children, and that could be
No.
in the next few months.
Not pregnant.
3 or 4?
Yeah, 3 or 4 months.
Not even
on
a
trimester.
So as they grow older and all of a sudden now you're doing all their activities, whew, now your life's busy.
yeah.
Now your life's busy. You're going to baseball games or soccer games, flag football.
I caution anybody who is complaining about how busy their life is without children. Buckle up, Buster.
Right.
Man, because I'm telling you, you don't even understand, because not only are you busier, but now the stakes are so much higher, because if you screw up a wedding, don't get me wrong, you could ruin relationships over screwing up a wedding. If you screw up like parenthood, there's a life or a couple on the line.
That was the other thing I was just thinking about is these trips that Kendall and I are going on, like expenses are adding up. I'm looking at the bank account. I'm like, whoa, there's not that much in there right now.
Yeah, weddings.
If you have
are
kids,
expensive.
everything costs twice as much.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's cool? If you have more than 3 kids, all of a sudden you're getting 2 hotel rooms. You're getting a bigger car.
Yeah. So yeah. Listen,
Maybe I just won't have them.
well,
Well,
I mean,
I'm
that-
too late.
No, it's not too
You're in.
late.
You're in.
I'm just saying,
Like, I'm a really good uncle. I know for a fact I'm really good at that. I'll just stick with that.
well,
I'm a good dog dad.
You're doing a good job. I'm telling you, at some point, it's not going to be your choice. And so, whatever you say right now in terms of finances,
Right.
there's a little thing called the biological clock that doesn't really look at your
Right.
bank account. It just got when it goes off, it's a loud ringing in one of the two in the couple's
Yeah.
ears, and all of a sudden they appear to have more power than we do when it comes to certain things, and you won't be able to resist the
Yeah.
occasion. And 9
Yep.
months later, you will be buying a minivan.
And hemorrhaging money.
Correct. Correct.
Hemorrhaging for the next umpteen years.
By the way, if you want to borrow a dirt spoon and start burying some money in the backyard,
you know what? You need a coffee can? I
You
save
get a coffee can too.
No, that's where you stuff your cash.
Yeah,
Everybody knows that.
all right, what's your morning monologue, TD? The world is waiting.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Well, okay, this actually popped into my head yesterday as I was thinking about Fletch going to these weddings and doing these different parties. And I want to read you this little bit of poetry, all right?
I love it.
Here is the dome. Back with the bass, the jam is live in effect, and I don't waste time. On the mic with the dope rhyme, jump to the rhythm, jump to the rhythm, jump. And here I am to combine beats and lyrics to make you shake your pants. Take a chance. Come on and dance. Guys, grab a girl. Don't wait. Make her twirl. It's your world, and I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut to move your butt to the dance floor. So, yo, what's up? Has there ever been a collection of words put together that commands you out to a dance floor more than CNC Music Factory's gonna make you sweat? No, the answer is no. There's never been. That's it, guys. It's the king of dance. That's all I'm saying.
As soon as that bass line drops, if you're not swinging your arms,
Right.
doing the funky chicken, pulling grandma out
Thank
to the
you.
dance floor, You are screwing your life up,
Yep.
and frankly, the lives of many others.
You know
Well
what's a
said.
crime?
Well
I've been
said.
to 4 weddings this summer. That song has not played once.
There's no way.
And we left a little early at this last one, but the other ones we've stayed till the finish.
What?
Not once.
Wow,
And they don't sneak in CNC music factory?
I'm fairly certain that means that all of those DJs have to be served cyanide pills because that is.
Right.
I mean,
Who
I'm
was-
pretty.
Is
The
it DJ
secret
Tanner? Is that the DJ?
certainly wasn't Shaq.
No,
No.
it was not Shaq. It was not Shaq.
Dude, Shaquille O'Neal. What was it? Right before, or
DJ
after
Diesel.
It was after,
Cleveland Guardians
yeah,
game?
right after the game. There was a party, and Shaq, DJ Diesel, rolls up on stage, starts spinning the ones and twos.
So he's been doing this for years, and I at first you just assume like, all right, it's a celebrity DJ, blah blah blah. People who have gone live, and I know a couple who've gone live and seen Shaq DJ, they're like, he is incredible. He is a showman. As much as he is like on television, it's like turn it up to 11. And then also he has a ton of money and he invests in his act. And so he has like pyrotechnics and he has like smoke machines.
The
It's
best
a
line
party.
And then
Shaq has ever
Also,
dropped.
he's 7'2".
He told
There's
his
that.
kids one time, he says, "Hey, we ain't rich. I'm rich. I'll spend my money how I want."
Yeah, dude. I love the way Shaq talks. I think it's hysterical. He's the best. Anyways, speaking of Shaq being 7'2", Shaq is 7'2", and if you've noticed recently, he dropped a lot of weight. He's got like a visible six-pack now. Like Shaquille O'Neal's in great shape, and I don't know if it was because he was doing like a supplements ad run or something like that, but my suspicion is he got connected with Wayne and Chloe at sdfatloss.com.
You're probably right. You're
Because-
probably right. Because it came out so fast.
It came off so fast, and that's what we all experienced here. sdfatloss.com with Wayne and Chloe, our weight loss team. They showed us the path. Travis lost over 30 pounds in 30 days. I lost over 35 pounds in 30 days. Fletch, in the first 30 days, lost over 40 pounds.
What is the pose you're doing right now?
It
It's
looked,
like
he was doing the
ass out, ass up.
He was doing the funky chicken.
Yeah.
He was doing the funky
course, of
chicken.
course.
And doing a great job. And I'll tell you what, you know what? You won't even have to dance if you want to lose the weight. You won't have to exercise. You won't have to count points. You won't have to count calories or carbs or, do any weird shakes. You don't have to get injections, which, by the way, the more evidence coming out about these injections that people are taking to lose weight,
Yeah. Especially with some of the guy problems.
ooh, boy,
The guy problems.
there's a lot of guy problems.
Things no worky.
Yeah, things don't worky good when you do the injection thing. Anyways, look, long story short, SD Fat Loss uses none of those gimmicks. It's all natural. It's the right way to lose weight, and it's extremely fast weight loss, and it's lasting weight loss. So if you want to finally get those, those pounds around the stomach off, you want to look better in a bathing suit for beach season, go to sdfatloss.com. Mention the show Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. You save $200 on your subscription. Coming up next, the Travelers Championship was delayed, and there was absolutely zero etiquette showed on the 18th green. We'll explain coming up next.
By the way, while you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, hit us up on the TalkBack mic. We barely mentioned the TalkBack mic today, but we want you to use it. The TalkBack mic, just open up the free iHeartRadio app. You'll see a little red button there, little microphone inside that. That is the TalkBack mic. Go ahead and tap that. Send us a message, a shout out, a request, or just ask us a question, and then we'll use it here on the air. And listen to San Diego Sports 760 every day, no matter where you go, on the free iHeartRadio app.
Talkback Mike.
TalkBack Mike.
This update is presented by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres took 3 out of 4 from the Brewers at Petco Park over the weekend. They are back at it today at Petco, taking on the Washington Nationals for a 3-game series. First pitch tonight, 6:40. Matt Waldron on the mound. Yu Darvish set to make his return tomorrow. In golf, Scotty Scheffler wins the Travelers in spite of climate protesters delaying the tournament on the 18th green. Scheffler wins in a playoff. That's his 6th win in 14 starts this season. Anderson's drain stoppage guaranteed solves issues for $63, or it's on the house. Nobody wows clients like they do. Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air has been privileged to serve over 500,000 residential clients for more than 45 years. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
Good morning, guys. This is Eric out at Coronado. Just wanted to thank you guys for a great time on Friday. We had a blast out there. The course was amazing. Beers were flowing. Good times were had. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah. Eric there using the TalkBack mic to talk about our, well, I was going to say our again, not our, Jesse Lozano's one more win golf tournament that happened on Friday out at the Links at the Lake House in San Marcos. What a blast. Eric and his foursome out there. God, I mean, we partied, man.
We partied. Eric partied. Kenny, he partied. We had our foursome winners out there surrounding us, different points on the course, which was amazing. So, Eric, again, thank you for being out there. And I agree with what he just said. The Links at the Lake House. That was awesome.
Completely awesome.
Course was great.
Place is beautiful from soup to nuts. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, what hole was it where you had the par 4 with the beautiful view down?
That was the 14th.
And so you had the big lake. That lake was about 300 yards away from the tee box.
So I know it because that was our last hole that we played. We started on 15, and they call it, I think, the Diablo.
It is the devil because Richie put, never mind.
No. I mean, There was no grass that was touched.
I sprayed the greater community of San Marcos
Well, what's
with
incredible-
Bridgestone and noodles and whatever brand of Vice. I
I'm
believe.
sure that there are
Top Flight XL?
houses.
Yeah, Top Flight XL.
I'm sure somebody purchased a house saying, no chance will a golf ball ever come here because I'm 4 blocks away from the golf course.
Yeah.
And they got a golf ball in their backyard.
Dude, I got a note, strongly worded note from the mayor of Valley Center for breaking a window at a bus stop. I couldn't believe it.
It was incredible. It was going to say your longest drive of the day. However, there were several of them that went off that tee box that were all your longest.
It's amazing how far you hit the ball.
Well, listen, I didn't hit the course though with a single one of those drives.
You might have hit a different course.
That's right. Yeah, actually, I played from the links at the lake house, and I actually hit Steel Canyon, which
It's incredible.
We didn't think it was
It was
possible.
incredible.
Um,
We still have those New Kids on the Block tickets to give away, by the way. So don't go anywhere. July 7th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, Deets and Seats, Ticketmaster.com.
So in just a little bit, we're gonna get to from one Super Bowl MVP to another. It's a bad look. That's pretty interesting, that little storyline there. But first, do you guys all right? When you see streakers run onto a football field, funny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't really have don't get me wrong, like it could get dangerous if there's somebody crazed. Like I
Right.
remember one time Dave Chappelle was doing a show at the Forum in LA, and a fan got on stage and he was like out of his mind, and I think had a weapon on him. Like, so
he had a knife.
sweet.
He was trying to stab Dave Chappelle.
I mean, like there are things that are definitely spooky that happen when fans get involved during an act or during a game. But overall, it's usually pretty harmless. And then security does a good job of either tasing the SOB or tackling them to the turf. And then usually there's a big cheer from the crowd as they
Pull
get
up
walked.
your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
And if it's Kevin Harlan, he'll commentate the whole thing, which networks love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the other thing, too, is, I mean, if you're going to streak, commit, and you got to streak.
Dude, I 100% agree. If you're going to hit the field or the course for that matter, you better take all your clothes off. Okay, so there's that side of it, which seems almost pleasant in some ways. And then there's this side of it. So social media exploded yesterday. I was on the radio and I'm like, why is everybody making such a big deal about the Travelers Championship? Like, is Tiger out there? And like, no. It was Scotty Scheffler heading towards a playoff. And on the 18th green, protesters, and I won't even mention the outfit these idiots are with, ran out onto the green with smoke bombs and spray paint and whatever you call it, when you spray paint, vandalize. They vandalized the course.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, like, what are we doing? Like, is this the way you want to get recognition for whatever it is you're interested in stopping? I can promise you nobody cares. In fact, it's going to have the opposite effect.
There was also a group, and they were using similar equipment. I don't know if it was the same group, but
Same group.
Are you talking about the Stonehenge
Yep,
one?
same group.
So,
Oh, what's the same group?
Same
so
group.
if you're, I don't get it. Like Stonehenge, whatever. I don't have any sentimental feeling towards it, but I do have sentimental feelings towards golf. And I'm like, all right, you're ruining the course, first of all. Secondly, you just look like jerks. You don't look like you're standing up for something.
Yeah. I mean, I hate this. I hate this so much. I can't even explain how much I hate it. But they are using cameras and they're using media to go get their message in front of somebody. And they're hoping that shows like us will talk about it and talk about their organization.
All I will say is the very funny sidebar to this conversation was Scotty Scheffler was on the green at the time when this happened.
Cops come running out.
Scotty Scheffler just got arrested outside the PGA Championship for kind of driving through that crime scene, and that was a sticky situation. Can you imagine what was going through his head when the cops were running onto the course? He was probably like, oh, what did I do now? Are you
I
kidding
didn't
me?
even know I did anything wrong the first time. What did I do this time?
I mean, like,
Of
all
course,
of a
Scotty.
sudden he sees somebody get tackled in front of him. It's like a bald chick screaming about the planet, and he's just like, oh, cool.
Cool.
Got it. Like, yeah, I'll tell you right now.
Some pretty good tackles by the security team. Rich, I saw you did a little film breakdown on social
Dude.
media at Big Rich TD Fletch if you missed it. But it's a couple of good form tackles out there. Maybe a couple guys that played Pee Wee football.
Yeah, there were some cops who, like, when they say the hip drop tackle is going to be difficult to get away from. We got clinic tape now. I mean, that guy got chased down from behind. No hip drop.
Did you guys also cringe when you saw it was all happening on the green? And I was like looking to see if when someone got tackled, if they didn't take a chunk out of the green,
Oh, yeah.
like someone did this weekend.
Dude, yeah,
What?
whoever that was, like, what a jerk. We
Yeah.
should probably not even talk about it because, like, that's crazy that somebody would do that.
We threw a lot of clubs high in the air.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
One of mine ended up in the fescue on a hill next to a green.
It clanged off of someone's metal fence.
We were
Yeah.
doing a little Texas wedge action on one of the holes, and I went second, I think, in the group, and I put mine, and Travis was like, "What the hell was that? That was a terrible putt." And then he hit his right after it. It went about 2 feet in front of him and rolled back to him.
Life is good. We're all having a good time. Oh, by the way, I wanted to bring this up because this is actually history could be made. So check this out. We're going to have all-star voting, or the first round of all-star voting, ending on Thursday. Okay, so this initial round of all-star voting for Major League Baseball ends on Thursday. If you go to padres.com/all-star, you can vote up to 5 times a day for your favorite Padre player. Jurickson Profar, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Luis Arraez, if they're all sent to Texas and they all get enough votes, they could be in the starting lineup. Cool, right? Well, here's what's cooler. The Padres at no time in their history have ever had 3 all-stars in the starting lineup. So again, if you go to padres.com/all-star, you can vote for those guys. And I'm not saying, listen, we love Ha-Seong Kim. You know what? We all like going to the Crone Zone. But if you pile in your 5 votes today at padres.com/all-star and you vote for Jurickson, and you vote for Fernando, and you vote for Luis, you could send those 3 guys to the all-star game and you could increase their chances of being starters for the first time in Padres history. Wouldn't that be cool?
Absolutely would be
So
cool.
get to padres.com/all-star, send in those votes because, again, that initial round ends Thursday. Okay, I mentioned it. Super Bowl MVP beef. We'll get to it. Some words, strong words, I would say, were stated on Friday on Colin Cowherd. You heard him right here on 760, so we'll get to those. But first, want to talk to you about my back, my knees. After that round of golf on Friday, I felt great. Look, it was a long day. We got out to the course some part of 4 o'clock in the morning. We got set up. We had a full broadcast. And then we went and played golf all day long. I was on my feet, I would argue 10 hours. I mean, I don't remember sitting down for about 10 hours. It was, I mean, let's put it this way. To be perfectly honest, if I ever tried to do something like that before wearing the arch supports from the Good Feet store, I would be paying for it for a month. But because I was wearing these arch supports, my back felt great. My knees felt great. The hips, the ankles, the feet. If you have any lower body joint pain, get to a Good Feet store. Trust me, they work. These arch supports work. They work for me. They'll work for you. Go to goodfeet.com. Check out where their nearest location to you is. They have 200 plus in the United States and overseas. And if you need, I mean, any advice, or if you want, DM me at Rich Schornberger on Instagram. I will fill you in on the full scoop. These things are amazing. But goodfeet.com to book your appointment today. All right. As promised, New Kids on the Block tickets coming up in just a few minutes. So if you want to see the whole gang, actually, I don't know if the whole gang is still on the block.
Yeah, I think they're all there.
Is it all the New Kids?
I believe so.
You know what? The other thing is, like, it is a timeless name, but they did timestamp it with New Kids.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, when are they no longer new? When are they like
Like when you're not the new guy anymore?
yeah.
Maybe
like,
they haven't hired anybody else at wherever they work.
they're still the New
They're
Kids.
still FNG.
Until they hire new kids. Yeah.
Dude, wait, Paula Abdul and DJ Jazzy Jeff have been on this tour with them?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I don't know if they'll be at the San Diego one, but it says in their Magic Summer 2024
If
tour.
Paula
What?
Abdul is at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on July 7th. Guess who else is going to be at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater July 7th?
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
We have some.
Whammy.
As well as my wife Sarah. She's a huge Paula Abdul fan. Huge.
Don't stop now, Tim.
Dude,
Do you really wanna
Scat
love
Cat.
me ever? Or is this just a hit and run?
Wait, what does DJ Jazzy Jeff do without the Fresh Prince? He just DJs?
I suppose so.
Just a bunch of scratching?
It's just me, Shaq G's on DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Dude, it looks like Paula Abdul is going to be part of this concert.
Are you outside of your mind?
This sounds good. This sounds cool.
What?
This sounds awesome. In fact, I'll go ahead and say this is a good look. This is a good look for San Diego. Meanwhile, Julian Edelman, former Super Bowl MVP, former teammate of mine, he said that what Aaron Rodgers did to the New York Jets, bad look.
Bad. It's bad.
He said it's a
What did
bad
he do
look.
this time? Is this avoiding minicamp?
So
Yeah.
the mini camp is the problem. So look, if you skip OTAs, the involuntary workouts during the off season, you're not going to ruffle too many feathers, but mini camp is mandatory for veterans, for rookies, for everybody, for coaches, for the whole organization. The front office is usually there too, unless the owners have a meeting or something. Like it's everybody. Everybody in New York showed up to the mini camp except for their starting quarterback.
Ruh-roh.
So Aaron Rodgers skips the minicamp, and we discussed this last week. You know, we kind of, all right, it's going to be a storyline if the Jets struggle out the gate. It's probably not going to be a storyline if they don't, and we know that's true. But now, look, members of the media have time because we are still 72 days away from kickoff officially of the regular season. We still have a month to go before training camps officially open. Shoot, mini camps were open through the weekend. So
72 days, 16 hours, 8 minutes, and 47 seconds.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Can he be ready in time?
Well, but the problem is there's so much time to discuss this, and it's going to be discussed. In fact, you know, this Edelman quote comes out a full week after he skips minicamp. I mean, he's going to be harangued. The Jets are going to be harangued for their handling of this. You know, Robert Saleh called it an unexcused absence. I hate to say this because it's probably the wrong way to do it, because I guess if news comes out that it was actually unexcused, maybe you look like an idiot. But if I'm Robert Saleh, am I really, this is the line in the sand I want to draw with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, that's dumb.
I kind
That's dumb.
of feel like he should have just lied.
So what was
1,000%.
Yeah, just said, yeah, this is excused. We're talking with Aaron every day. We know he has this to deal with. He's looking for the Hat Man or the Rabbit Man. What's he
Yeah.
looking for?
The Hat Man,
Yeah.
Rabbit Man. Who
It's no
cares?
big deal. It's no
I
big
mean,
deal.
and that's not even confirmed. Who knows? Maybe he had.
Well,
I-
Albert Breer hinted at him going on another ayahuasca retreat, but that was like a week ago when he was on the Rich Eisen show. But
We're all going to feel real dumb when it turns out his uncle died.
Yeah, right, or maybe I don't know. He has like a tax accountant who,
I do have a theory.
you know, who kidnapped him and
In a
took
few
him
days,
Could be.
There's
Like
gonna
an
be-
unmarked windowless van.
There's going to be a picture that goes viral of a guy that kind of looks like Aaron Rodgers next to Miles Teller at a Taylor Swift concert in Europe or something. Like he's going to be hanging out with his buddies.
Look,
And he's going to have some quote in the media the following day when he does some conspiracy podcast, which I actually think Aaron Rodgers is great on those podcasts,
Check
where
this
he's
out.
going to talk about, you know, I just had to do this for me. I'll be back. I don't need these mini camps really. I'm a veteran. I know how to play football.
if I'm Robert Saleh, this is my direct quote. Aaron Rodgers has an excused absence from minicamp. Aaron Rodgers has done so much for this organization in the very short time he's been here. He asked for this time. We approved this time. I will answer no further Aaron Rodgers questions because it's up to him to share where he is and what he's up to. That's his personal choice. That's his personal life. But he has the full support from the New York Jets, not only now, but moving forward. He is the thumping heart of this organization. Next question.
Because he's Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly.
Because guess what? Because then when Aaron comes back or he goes on the Joe Rogan show or he goes and does a different podcast,
Nelk Boys.
Nelk Boy, who the hell? Yeah, I mean, he's on every podcast. And he starts spouting off about how, he took the hallucinogenic tea and he defeated the Hat Man and now he's ready to compete for the AFC.
What if he has some story about him and the Hat Man going like one-on-one in some virtual reality skills competition for the quarterback?
Right. And he was throwing it in the 50-point net in the corner of the end zone. And I said, screw you, Hat Man. I have the rabbit now. I guess my point is, if it comes out that he went on an ayahuasca trip, what's the worst that could happen, Robert Saleh? What then people go, did you know it was an ayahuasca trip? And you say, yeah. And guess what? Aaron does what he wants to do, because I don't know if you guys noticed, without Aaron Rodgers last year, this was a pretty crummy franchise.
Right. Exactly. And that's all you'd have to say is, I thought you said it was excused. It was the end. Yeah. He asked for the time off. We said, hey, that runs into minicamp. And he said, but please. And we were like, okay.
How about this? You know what I would do? I would spin it back on the media. I would say, okay, so if somebody came to you and said, I need time off from mandatory work because I'm having a mental health issue that I need to go sort out, you're not going to give them the time off? Okay. Right. So if somebody comes to you in your office, you're a business owner or you're a supervisor and says, I'm struggling with something I need to take care of. It's going to help my mental health. You're going to say, no, Aaron, you need to show up because this is mandatory.
Right.
Well, guess what? I guess we're just better people than you are here at the New York Jets. That's how I would respond to this. But Robert Saleh, you moron, you had a golden opportunity to take the bull by the horns and win the admiration and respect of your starting quarterback, who is everything to this franchise, and you blew it. Blew it.
Which, by the way, Robert Saleh, do you also want to plant that seed within the team that you have a guy who's supposed to be the leader who isn't showing up? I mean, what? I don't know. There's so many layers to this where I think the
teammates always
screwed
love
this
Aaron
up.
Rodgers.
And you know what? That's the thing. They would have found a way to excuse it if you do. But because you go in front of the team and you say it's an unexcused absence, it sets the record that Aaron did something wrong. Now, he did. I mean,
yeah,
he kind of did, but you don't admit it. You don't admit it if you're the head freaking coach of the New York Jets.
Come on. Put some spin on this, buddy.
The only reason why he has the job still is because of Aaron Rodgers. It's not like everybody in New York was like, who's really helping us win? Robert Saleh. Okay. Anyways.
Interesting.
Coming up next, we got two big reasons to root for the Oilers still. And the Lakers have been mum on the JJ Redick front, and that's weird. We'll explain that. The Padres also, they lost, but they're 500, so the season starts over today. We'll discuss next.
Hour 3, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by the Jim Trail Real Estate Team. Not in the Olympics, but probably should be. It's called Golf Bazookaing. If you want to see that video, it's up at Big Rich, TD, Fletch on TikTok right now. Rich Ornberger shooting a bazooka 400 yards down a fairway. It was impressive as hell. Padres took 3 out of 4 from the Brewers at Petco Park over the weekend. No days off for the Pods. They welcome the Nationals to town for the next 3. First pitch tonight, 6:40. Matt Waldron on the mound. Yu Darvish set to make his return from the IL tomorrow against the Nats. Sticking with baseball, Mets closer Edwin Diaz ejected from last night's game after the umps found sticky stuff on his hand before he threw a pitch. And in golf, Scotty Scheffler wins the Travelers. That's his 6th win in 14 events this year. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell is the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Happy Monday to those who celebrate. We are rocking and rolling. What's interesting is the Padres were, and then they stopped. And then I'm sure eventually they'll do it again, and then the pendulum will swing back the other way.
Well, we don't know if it's stopped completely yet.
Yeah.
We'll find out today, I guess.
Yeah.
If they string together 2 losses in a row.
Washington Nationals visiting Petco Park. Matt Waldron, thankfully, on the mound for the Padres. He's been sensational this season. We didn't know if he could pitch at this level as a starting pitcher until this season. And it turns out, yeah, he can. And it turns out they really needed him to, because Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove have been unavailable for the majority of this season. The presumed ace, the 1-2 starter in this rotation, it just has not worked out that way. And so the Padres have had to lean on other arms. Waldron has stepped up in a big way. Vasquez has struggled. You've had Adam Mazier getting some basically security blanket starts, just waiting, hugging, holding on loosely until the cavalry arrives. So Darvish coming off the IL here. We'll see how he looks this week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll see how Joe Musgrove looks when he gets back from injury. He's had an up and down season when he's been available. So it's going to be interesting. 41-41, 7th place in the NL. That means they've secured themselves a playoff seed for now.
Well, yeah.
Only 80 games left,
that's
guys.
That's it.
So
where it's all downhill from here.
That's
Are we in the dog days of summer now?
Oh, yeah.
It's official.
Oh, yeah.
You look around the country, you're going to have people passing out in some games because of how hot it is outside.
Yeah.
I think we're there.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a lot cooler today, right, than yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
sure,
I will
it's
say,
cooking.
John and Jim and Darren Smith show, they've been doing all Padres home games down at the Naughty Barrel and the Gas Lamp. And I don't know if you guys have been to one of these yet, but I got to go to one early on. And on Fridays at the Naughty Barrel, they do like fresh barbecue.
Oh, they do it right.
Like they have a smoker going.
Mhm.
And not very often times in my life have I been jealous of Jim Russell. But you guys see the video he posted about the special Oklahoma smash burger that they had on the Traeger out there?
Jim Russell, by the way, gives the most tepid, lukewarm review you've ever seen of
Yeah, like
any sandwich.
The caption said, "Is this the best burger in San Diego?" And
And
then
so
his
he-
review is like,
He takes a bite of it, and with his mouth full, he goes, "This is pretty good." And that was the video. But if you want to go on there and make fun of Jim Russell, go check it out. I'm sure it's at John and Jim on Instagram. It's at SD Sports 760. I mean, I'll tell you what, Jim, you really sold me. But I can promise. Here's the way I would sell it. Bar none. If you want like delicious burgers on Fridays in the Gas Lamp during Padres home games, get to the Naughty Barrel, because that Oklahoma smash burger, gee,
it looked incredible.
it is. I mean, like if looks could talk, that burger is screaming, "Eat me!"
Smash burger, as in smash down on the griddle. You got those little tiny pieces of meat that are changing molecularly.
There was
because
also
they're.
brisket on top of the smashed burger. Like I want it so badly.
Are we talking sliced brisket?
It looked like
Listen, okay, so
golly.
we haven't even tried it, and we're doing a better job of describing it than Jim Russell
I
did in
want it
this video.
so bad.
Oh, good Lord.
Were the buns a little bit of butter and toasted up just right?
That's what it looked like to me.
God.
It looked like there might have even been some crispy onions on there.
Listen,
Crispy onions?
save these burgers from being eaten by the worst of all time, Jim Russell. Getting to the naughty barrel. Because if for every burger you eat is a burger that you could rescue from the worst of all time.
They need you.
These burgers
They need
you.
a home. By the way, we haven't not discussed what was the double down? The maple bacon waffle double down.
Wait, no, wasn't that the KFC one that had 2 chicken patties as the bun?
Yeah,
They did something else?
There's a new one, buddy.
Oh yeah.
It's a maple bacon waffle double down. So now it's 2 pieces of chicken. Chicken still acts as the bun.
Yep.
In between that is a waffle, bacon, and maple syrup.
Okay.
Can we do that?
There's a couple of fast food restaurants that over this weekend and including today have released some new menu items. We're going to give you probably the fuller breakdown on 101.5 KGB this afternoon.
idea.
If you listen
Great
from
idea.
3 to 7 p.m., we're going to start reviewing some summertime fast food menu ads that
Is
I mean,
there anything about that sandwich though that makes you feel like I'm a good person?
no, you walk away from that drive-thru
Oh, God.
and you sit in your car and you finish that before you see anybody and by the way, and you probably don't tell anybody.
Right.
You probably don't tell
Right.
anybody. Speaking of which, the Lakers haven't told anybody if they actually hired JJ Redick, which, I mean, it's not the double down with a waffle in the middle of it, but it's pretty good.
Right.
Look, JJ Redick, I understand he's never coached beyond the youth level. And I understand that this may, to certain members of the fan base, may be a controversial hire, but JJ Redick is a big name, and if he is officially named the Lakers' next head coach, when that's going to be, I don't know. But if you go to Lakers.com, there's literally no sign of JJ Redick yet.
So it was Thursday night, I guess, the Friday morning, Thursday night, that this got leaked out that JJ Redick was going to be the next head coach. And the details of the contract were 4 years, $8 million a year,
Yeah,
$32 million.
$32 million over the 4-year span, which is a pretty decent salary for a guy who's never done it before. Look, everything adds up except for the fact that there has been no press conference. There has been no official word from the Lakers. And I'm just curious why. TD and I speculate, and we both arrived at this conclusion separate from each other, but we both speculate that the reason why is because JJ Redick does not want to be named the next head coach until after the NBA draft.
Thursday morning.
So if you're going to draft LeBron James's kid, that's fine. I just don't want to be the head coach when you do it.
So I did some investigative journalism here, big J journalism.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I looked up the Lakers official Twitter account,
Yeah.
X account.
Mhm.
14 days ago, June 14th, they put out a post. It was Gabe Vincent's birthday. Happy birthday, Gabe.
There's been no post since then.
No, 5 days ago, they put up a post. Happy birthday, Jalen Hood. Don't know how to say your last name. June 19th. That was his birthday.
Okay.
Also Juneteenth.
Right.
Today is JJ Redick's birthday. No post.
No. Oh, wow.
So they're just
He's not officially part
Like
of the team.
2 of their last 3
yeah.
posts have been happy birthday posts to people
Also-
associated with their organization. Today is somebody who's loosely associated with their organization, at least if you look like literally on ESPN right now. Is JJ Redick the right hire for the Lakers? On our show right now, why haven't the Lakers announced? Lakers have not posted anything about his birthday.
I can't see anything but a white shirt.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
That is a very distracting. Anyways,
More
look.
distracting. The headline we saw earlier today, or that.
Oh, easily the headline.
headline.
The headline.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, if Prize Picks picks up on the MFL, I am in. All right.
By the way, promo code DOGS, DOGS.
Yeah, if you want to have your first $100 matched up to $100, Prize Picks with promo code DOGS. All right. So
That was a bonus.
yeah, that's right. We'll get to the Padres in a moment. We also promised New Kids on the Block's tickets. If you want those tickets, I'm going to say keep listening for the next 15 minutes. We're going to tell you when to call. All right?
Okay.
So
right.
listen, I said it. So
Yeah.
now it has
In
to come
fact,
true.
You keep listening for the next 13 minutes. Otherwise, someone will tell us we have gone too long.
That's true. Yeah. And I think his name is Fletch. So before
No,
we piss
if
him
I
off,
tell you guys to break on time, you tell me to F off. And then we go into meetings and everyone's like, Fletch, why don't you get these guys to break on time? And I'm expecting one of you guys to say, oh, no, it's on us.
you know
Like,
what?
we don't.
Well,
We don't do that.
What's so funny is actually the truth is the last meeting we said, oh yeah, we tell Fletch to F off. And they were like, yeah, Fletch, like, why do you let them say that to you? Like, you should, like they literally,
Nothing to do with us.
like, they turned it right back to Fletch. And they were just like, why would you let them do that to you? Just like, you're in control of the buttons. And he was like, wait, what? Like, why am I getting blamed for
what's
that
great?
telling me that F off?
Fletch doesn't even say that. He just sits there and shakes his head. It's fantastic.
Like, all right, sounds good. Yeah, this is my fault.
Actually, that is true.
God, I've just been trained to believe everything is my fault.
He's never actually argued it. He's like, no, that makes sense. That adds up. Yeah, I'm in control of the buttons. You're right. Anyways, listen, we got the Padres facing the Nats. It's a big deal.
Golly.
We have some pro athletes who aren't getting paid enough, and we can actually make sense of that sentence.
I can't.
We will in just a little bit.
You know what's funny? When I saw it, my gut reaction was, you got to be kidding me. And then I thought, I bet Rich tells me why that this is actually true.
Yeah.
And I've actually already made an argument as to why this is actually true.
I can break this down and using math, and I'm not a math guy, and make sense of this story. But first, we've got to do this.
I thought you were going to say I can break this down using meth.
Wow.
I wasn't
Weird.
Merced this weekend.
Yes, you were. And I brought back a bunch of meth. Anyways, the Padres pendulum stops at 4 wins. They lost yesterday 6-2. And just like that, guys, they're back at 500. How about that? Got some injuries here, though, on the team. Let's see. Yu Darvish, he's set to return tomorrow. Profar, he played yesterday, but has a left patellar tendon.
Patellar.
That's what I said.
Mhm.
I knew what that's the muscle that's by some bones.
I'm glad you're doing the injury
area.
thing. I got some beef.
You are
You got-
pointing
well,
to
you
the
got-
wrong area of the body.
No,
Tendonitis.
patellar's in your knee.
I only went elbow.
I got sat at the wedding I was at this weekend
Yeah.
with the seating chart. I got sat next to somebody who just had ACL surgery. So
Oh,
they took the two
interesting.
people with issues and they put them next to each other.
Wait.
Cool or not cool?
Well, I mean,
All the way in the back too.
It's like a disabled section.
Yeah, I guess so.
Way in the back. Usually it's in the front.
Well,
We were all
maybe
the way
they
in the
wanted
back.
you close to an exit just in case, like, you needed to get out.
Yeah.
Use the toilet.
Exactly.
Dude, I mean, you're getting
Exactly.
up there.
Just
these
the two people with scars are sitting next to each other. It was lovely sitting next to her. But
Nando has a tricep bruise and a quad injury. It's
Mhm.
not good. Campusano, he's on the 10-day IL with thumb issues. Musgrove, Xander Bogaerts, they're not going to return until later on the second half here. Panthers Oilers, the Stanley Cup final, game 7 tonight, 5 p.m. puck drop. And in the WNBA, the Liberty
Actually, I believe it's WNBA.
NBA. That's right. That's what it is.
WNBA. No, Howard. You're not doing it right. It's WNBA.
The Liberty, oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing the dream. 96-75, the Mystics and Things, the Wings, 92-84, the Sky Mall, the Fever, 88-87, and the Storm, E. Daniel, the Suns, 72-61.
The last two. Sky Mall. It's
Thank you. Thank you.
light round of applause.
I appreciate
I mean,
that.
that
Appreciate that.
Tip the cap.
I
went to
like that there's only 2 games a night, 4 games yesterday, but
Really
Not
up
a
in your
lot.
game these days.
I appreciate that. Big way.
Uh-oh. The right stuff right now. Well, not right now, but we are going to give you the time to call right now.
Is that New Kids on the Block?
Are you kidding me?
I thought that was Weird Al Yankovic.
Are you kidding me? Right? Meow.
No, that's the white stuff where
Oreo
Yankovic does the Oreo song.
That's a great song.
Parody of The Right Stuff by New Kids on the Block.
At exactly 8:23, if you want to win a pair of tickets to see the New Kids on the Block coming up July 7th at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, you can call 877-767-4760. That's 877-4760. Nope, that's not the number. 877-767-4760 at exactly 8:23. And you will win those New Kids tickets if you're caller number 5, or just head over to Ticketmaster.com for seats and deets. So
we had Daryl Hall tickets.
Right.
Rich, you were very certain that it was like Donny Osmond tickets, not Daryl Hall tickets. No, that wasn't the right person. Patton Oswalt.
No.
Who was the person?
Patton Oswalt. It was
Elvis Costello.
who was opening for Daryl Hall.
Yeah.
So are these Paula Abdul tickets, which also a little bit later on you get to see New Kids on the Block?
These are Paul Abdul tickets featuring New Kids.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. I
That's
don't know why.
DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, Jesus.
Parents just don't understand.
They absolutely don't. And they won't.
Who's Patton Oswalt? Why is that name in my
Patton
head?
Oswalt is an actor.
He's
He's a
stand-up
comedian.
comic.
Yeah, stand-up comic.
Yeah. He's and by the way, Patton Oswalt and Elvis Costello could not look any more different. I mean, you could not.
Yeah, like one's tall and thin.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt looks
The other's more TD shaped.
except more miniature. Like he's like
smaller.
He's like the mini marshmallow version of TD. So Padres first pitch at 6:40. Puck drops 5:00 tonight. Like if you were forced to watch only one thing, Stanley Cup Final Game 7 or Padres against the Nationals, which one are you choosing tonight?
Well, one's going to be on the iPad, one on the TV. But if you're saying I only had to pick one,
You could only pick one.
I'm watching hockey. Let's do that hockey.
Hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey
Yeah, I'm
all
with you.
day.
I'm with you. Listen, the Padres, they've been an exciting and interesting watch, especially this weekend. The offense was there. There's no question about it. This team deserves a lot of the acclaim and attendance that
we
they're
got
receiving
80
from
more.
the fan base, but they do have 80 more. Like, that's the thing about urgency. The reason why the two best words in all sports are Game 7 is because it's urgent. It's because it all comes down to this. 2 seasons are on the line. Legacies are on the line. If somebody screws something up tonight on the baseball field, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah, there's a game again the next day.
If something goes wrong on the ice tonight, it could legitimately define a generation for one of these two teams.
Now, I've been keeping up with the Stanley Cup Final. Like, I've understood who's winning the games, and I keep it on the little game tracker thing on the CBS Sports app. But have they been doing the Taylor Swift thing?
Go ahead.
Where like the camera crew is like trying to find Kate in the crowd the whole time. Has she gotten any screen time on the legitimate broadcast yet?
I haven't heard it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't think
But
so.
why not?
Well, see that to me,
Because she's become more of a celebrity now. Like, if you follow Twitter analytics, she's been trending for like 2 weeks.
Let me give you a comparable story, not the same but similar.
Hawk to a girl.
Well, no. Well, okay. That's
Who is now an action figure, by the way.
she is a viral sensation, no question about it. I'll give you one that's a little bit more what's the word? Even decent, I guess is the word. Like, I don't care what anybody does in their personal life, or if you want to show off your cans at a game, that's great actually.
That could happen if things go well for the Oilers.
I hope it does. But the reality of the situation is Kate Upton didn't get a ton of press or camera time, even though she was discovered and she became a worldwide success in terms of her modeling career after getting discovered at a Lakers game. Our buddy, who we used to have on a bunch, Arash Markazi.
Oh, yeah.
He went to a game with Kate Upton. He filmed her doing the Dougie on his Instagram account, and she exploded, and she parlayed that into
That's what got Kate Upton famous?
what and then they
I
started
thought it was, the Dougie dance.
yeah.
Wasn't it the Cat Daddy?
Yeah.
Or
I think it was the
might-
Cat
Whatever you called it.
it was one of the Cat Daddy. Either way, she does a dance in the stands, and she becomes
If there was a song playing, I don't know.
world famous. She becomes world
And then
famous.
she marries Justin Verlander.
Yeah, which, by the way, you can make the argument that both sides of that coupling won. I could definitely make an argument for both. But yeah, so and she got like 0 camera time. So I don't think the Oilers girl is going to get any camera time. But if there's even a chance, that all the more reason to turn that on. If I was forced to watch only one, the Oilers Panthers game versus the Padres Nats game tonight.
I don't even think you really have to choose.
No, you don't
Like,
have to, but I'm
But
saying
no, the Oilers, like that's at 5:00, right?
yeah. The
Padres don't even start till
the
6:40.
whole reason why I'm making this is because it's the one thing that sports and hockey is another one of these sports get wrong is urgency. You don't miss NFL games. Yeah, I mean it's like it's a no
72 days, 15 hours, 36 minutes, 59 seconds.
But with hockey, with basketball, with baseball, I mean, you don't really care until it's time to care.
By the way, there's been some new viral clips going out, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, and Travis Kelce at her concert and carrying her around at the concert on stage. And I thought, oh, this is the season they get engaged. Where if you thought the Taylor Swift story was over, get ready for Taylor Swift season 2.
Speaking of
in the NFL.
The white stuff.
The right stuff.
Call right now. You know the number. You know what to do. Very simple to win those New Kids on the Block tickets. And if you miss out on those for the July 7th show at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, go to Ticketmaster.com for deets and seats. Okay.
We also got them all week.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Or just keep listening to the show all week long. Are we the only show? Are we giving them away?
John and Jim have them too.
All right, very good. So afternoons and mornings here on 760 all week for those New Kids on the Block ticket. Coming up next, a pro athlete cried out, "We don't get paid enough." And it actually makes sense.
But first,
sorry, I just want to go for a quick run because these arch supports are saving my back from the Good Feet store. Oh, thank goodness I wore them all day long on Friday. We went out to the links at the lake house, played a little golf. I woke up Saturday morning feeling amazing. That was not the case for many years. After my NFL career, my back was an absolute mess. But since wearing these arch supports from the Good Feet store, I feel great. Look, that's my testimony. There's so many other people who have that same exact path to feeling better. And then frankly, from there, having better health. Because if your back doesn't hurt, or if your knees or your hips don't bother you anymore, if your feet or your ankles are no longer a problem for you, it means you can work out more. It means that you can walk more. It means you can burn more calories, stay in better shape. And all of that affects having a healthier and better lifestyle. So why wait? If lower body joint pain is holding you back from the life you want to live, you got to head over to goodfeet.com. Book your first and free appointment. Try before you buy experience. You're not going to be held to anything. You just go in the store. They measure your feet. They try out these arch supports on you. You get to walk around the store, see if they're for you. If they're not, no problem. You don't owe them anything. But if you want to give them a shot and you're anything like me, you're going to feel the lower body joint pain melt away. It's goodfeet.com. 200 plus locations in the U.S. and overseas. Check them out today at goodfeet.com.
Hit us up on the Talkback mic. You heard that right. The Talkback mic. Just open up the free iHeartRadio app, listen to San Diego Sports 760, and tap that little microphone icon next to the play button and leave us a 30-second talkback on the Talkback mic. What was that again? The Talkback mic. The Talkback mic. Only on the free iHeartRadio app. The Talkback mic.
This update is presented by the Jim Betrell Real Estate Team Padres. They did 3 wins and 1 loss this weekend in a 4-game series against the Brewers at Petco Park. No days off. Pods are back. They're playing the Nationals at Petco Park for the next 3 games. First pitch tonight, 6:40. Matt Waldron on the mound. Yu Darvish set to make his return tomorrow. In golf, Scotty Scheffler wins the Travelers in spite of climate protesters delaying the tournament on the 18th green. Scotty Scheffler wins in a playoff. He continues his ridiculous 2024, 6 wins in 14 events. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Betrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, actually really was. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Got a little vacation time coming up. If you want to get him in the chair,
That was Talkback.
That's Talkback Mike.
I mean, honestly, Talkback Mike, you're welcome to fill in. That's unbelievable.
Dude, how cool would it be if we had celebrity fill-ins while we take vacations?
That's, by the way, all 3 of us, we have, let's put it this way. We've been kind of put through the ringer for years now. And they finally said to us, you know, you ought to take a little time off. You're looking a little spent. And we're like, what? Us? They're like, yeah, we noticed you started putting 2 bags of coffee into the coffee filters, and we're all concerned for your health. So, yeah, all 3 of you need to get out of here for a little while.
But
so.
not at the same time.
No. Certainly not at the same time. Certainly not at the same time.
We got one more Talkback. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah. dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeremy hanging out with us there at the One More Win golf tournament. Ton of fun. Great to see him. And thanks, buddy. Thanks for the talkback on the talkback mic.
Yeah, that's right. And if you want to leave us a talkback on the talkback mic, it's simple. Just open the free iHeartRadio app and click the microphone button next to the play button.
Right.
It's called the talkback mic.
There actually is some pretty cool ways for you to join the show on our KGB show, where if you leave us a talkback, you have a chance to win some VIP seating at a special event that we're going to be at.
Ooh.
So start
yeah.
listening 3 to 7 in the afternoons. Leave us a talkback over there, and you might be hanging out with us at
That's
a
next
fireworks
week.
show.
That's next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez
Next week.
Louise.
Yeah.
That's next Wednesday, Thursday,
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Yeah, the 3rd of July. Oh my God, that's
That's
coming up.
crazy.
It's like 10 days away. Okay,
Our
yeah.
winner for the New Kids on the Block ticket was Joseph. Thank you very much, sir. Congratulations. And Joseph said, breaking news.
Oh, do you want the thing?
Yeah, sure. Why not? While we're here, I guess we'll do it. Number 2. Breaking news. The Lakers are holding a press conference.
Oh.
Yeah, they are introducing JJ Redick this morning. I think it's at 10:30.
All right.
Wow. So he's going to have to be the guy that drafts Bronny.
Let's look at
lost a bet.
So Lakers, let's click on their Twitter feed. The Lakers this Juneteenth, educate and celebrate. They still haven't tweeted about it. Let's go to their website, Lakers.com, and let's see. Mhm.
How to watch JJ Redick's Lakers introductory press conference. There's a link.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is the first acknowledgement.
It's on their YouTube page.
Okay, there you have
Of
it.
course, where everyone goes to first for Lakers information.
That is your destination for Lakers information.
It'll open up with Rob Pelinka, who's not spoken to the media for months. And
Which,
then,
by the way, Rob Pelinka has not spoken to the media about hiring Darvin Ham. So, I mean,
As far as we know, Darvin Ham's still there.
it's just look, the Lakers.
dude, the last live video on the Lakers YouTube page was the Darvin Ham press conference 2 years ago. And they do not have a link up for the new one yet.
It's very strange. This is all being handled very, very oddly. I'm curious if there isn't a little dissension amongst the front office, and
It's going to be live Darvin Ham press conference from 2 years ago. And then right next to it's going to be live JJ Redick introductory press conference. Like, we had a meeting about like how your grid looks on social media. That's not how it should look.
shouldn't look that way.
Right. I was going to say their social media habits are not great. Everybody knows you have to post at least once a day, and then you can't post again for 2 to 3 hours.
So I think the three of us, as fans of the NFL, like we are all interested in seeing more NFL, right? We love it. We love it when the season comes around. We love talking about it. It is
72 days, 15 hours, 22 minutes, 49
Right around
seconds.
the corner.
easily the best viewing sport we have in this country. But here's the reality of the situation. There is a point of diminishing returns. We don't yet know if 18 games is it. Turns out 17 games wasn't. 18 games, I think you can make the argument that it feels a little bit better having, the 9 games and then the midseason and then 9 more. Like I get there's arguments to be made for having an even number of games, all those things, even number of home games, even number of road games. But we don't know. Like, is it going to be a point of diminishing returns where all of a sudden really good teams at the end of the season can start resting star players earlier? Like, could we have 2 weeks off for Patrick Mahomes because the Chiefs have already knotted up 14 wins and nobody in his division is even close? Like,
Yeah, I would say that, yes, that occurs.
so that's troubling because a 14-2 record turns into a 14-4 record down the stretch of an 18-game season, and maybe that still keeps you on top of the AFC. I don't know.
That would really screw up fantasy football, by the way.
Yeah. So everybody's clamoring for more and more and more. The players certainly aren't, and Deshaun Elliott isn't. So he's a Steeler for this.
Right, exactly.
He's a safety for the Steelers, and I think he formerly played for the Miami Dolphins. He says, look, they're not paying us enough money. They're not paying us enough money already. They're stingy with their money, so they want to make us play 18 games. As a players union, we should not we should get way more money than we're currently getting, and not just the top guys. Look, I understand it is never a good look for a professional athlete to say, hey, we're not getting paid enough.
Okay.
But I'm going to give a comparison that makes sense to a lot of people. Like, how many hours during the day do most people work?
8 hours.
Okay, 8 hours. Okay, so what is 5% or more than 5%? Say somewhere between 5 or so. Say like 6% of 8 hours.
6% of 8 hours would be 10% would be 0.8 hours, right?
Five extra minutes an hour.
Well, yeah,
right?
okay,
So,
I got you.
So,
Yeah,
so
got you.
5 times 8 is 40 extra minutes.
Okay.
So imagine if your boss walked into your office today and said, instead of going home at 5, you're going home at 5:40. Sorry, tough noogies. And then you went, okay, just today? And you went, nah, you're going to do that for this whole week and then the whole next week and then every week after that. And then so you're doing the quick math and you're like, wait a second. Wait. So I'm working 40 extra minutes a day. And you go, yeah. And then you go, all right, see you later. And then you, whoa, wait a second. Wait a second. I have to go home and tell my wife that I'm going to be in the office for 40 extra minutes. What are you paying me for the 40 extra minutes? Oh, that's the best part. Nothing. Yeah,
Right.
nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Sorry. Yeah, actually, we're not going to pay you a single red cent more. Wait a second. So by the end of the week, if I'm working 40 extra minutes per day, that's like several hours extra a week. Yeah. You got it right. Shouldn't I be paid overtime? No,
Right.
you shouldn't.
Wait, so is Deshaun Elliott going in with the assumption that they're not going to pay more?
Yeah.
It's going to add a game.
Now, do
Yeah.
you guys go into that? Because I don't. I'm thinking as soon as the next contracts are negotiated, it's gonna. If the league does switch to 18 games, all of a sudden the numbers start going up. The salary cap keeps rising. Contracts keep getting bigger. Every contract we've seen is breaking some record.
Yeah, but you also have to deal with just the rising cost of living. And that's why the salary cap is going up.
Well-
the rising cost of real estate for a quarterback has gone up.
Well, here's the real reality is what he's talking about and what is known to the players, but maybe not as often discussed publicly, is the percentage of the salary cap that the players get has never increased, or it hasn't over the past several CBAs. So what he's saying is, give us a larger chunk of the pie. And yeah, we'll work the extra game, but like,
Wait, how does that make sense? The salary cap has not gone to the play. What do you mean?
Okay, let me explain it to you, because again, this is an education that a lot of people need, Fletch. Like, so the salary cap goes up every year because the amount of money that the league is making from network contract deals goes up every year.
But isn't the salary cap the amount you're supposed to be? Well, the salary cap, salary base, that's the amount you're supposed to be spending on your team.
So that money strictly comes from the network contracts that the NFL strikes with Netflix and NBC and ABC, ESPN and CBS and Hulu, whoever else wants to buy these rights. And then that pool of money is shared between the owners and the players, but it's not shared evenly. The owners have a bigger split of it. So what he's saying when we should be paid more isn't like this natural rise of the salary cap, which happens year after year after year, because obviously the NFL is making more and more money year after year after year. It has nothing to do with that. We're talking about percentage of the whole. So like it's as if your boss walked in and said, we're going to have you work whatever 40 minutes per day equivalates to the end of the week for no extra pay. Now, what they'll do is they'll toss like, the lowest paid members of the roster, like they did on the last CBA, a minimum salary of $1 million, which sounds like a lot to average Joe going to, Cleveland Brown games and, working a blue collar job. But amongst like professional athletes, $1 million. I mean, like the 14th Laker is making like $10 million.
What I equate this to, where people balk at how much money a professional athlete's being paid, if you look at them as in the entertainment industry, and they are being paid of a percentage of what the ownership thinks they're going to bring in revenue, whether that's people in the seats, whether that's jersey sales, whether that's hot dog sales, whether that's a TV deal, they're getting a percentage because they go, you know what? You are so good that we know people are going to tune in and watch you. So if this was Seinfeld and they said, we're going to pay you $1 million an episode, and it's so you have 21 episodes to do, we're going to pay you $21 million. They don't come back and go, oh, hey, now we want you to do 24 episodes, but we're still going to pay you $21 million. Nope, you're going to have to cough over another $3 million because they're doing more episodes.
Yeah.
So he's just saying, hey, look, if you're going to ask me to do another episode, you're going to have to pay me for it.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I don't think is wrong.
Yeah, and by the way, that when I say like we're going to give like minimum salaries of $1 million to each one of these minimum salary players, that still comes off of the salary cap, which by the way is money that's owed to the players anyways. Like, so the players have gotten railroaded on these collective bargaining agreements for years because owners are very smart and they know how to attack the union in a very clever way to get these young, inexperienced, ignorant players to agree and vote to pass these CBA agreements. And the reality of the situation is over the past 2 seasons now, you've had these 5% increases in the amount of games played. So imagine instead of your boss coming in and saying, hey, by the way, we're not going to ask you to work 40 extra minutes a day. We're going to ask you to work an hour and 30 minutes extra, whatever, with 40 plus 40, hour 20, hour 20 each day. So by the end of the work week, you are now working 6 extra hours unpaid. Now, tell me anybody in the great states here in America wouldn't complain if their boss said, hey, we're not going to pay you OT, but you are going to come in, you're going to work over 6 more hours per week. And the answer is you're lying.
Now, unfortunately, like where this argument hits a brick wall for me, and I think a lot of people is, yeah, but you're just playing another game. And that's unfortunate, like where it's never going to work in my brain. And I get it, Rich, and what you're saying makes sense for you because you played the game and like it makes sense. And it was a job for you, but it still cannot compute as a job to a lot of people.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just, it's not just another game. And I am not a professional athlete or for a former professional athlete. I am not entrenched in sports like you, Fletch. I'm just the dude who likes to watch sports at home. I'm looking at this going, well, you're asking him to take another game and add the risks, of getting injured. I mean, this could be the last game that he plays. I mean, there could be some major injury and that's it. So you're going to have to compensate somehow.
And by the way, also remember 2 extra games per year compared to what it used to be when I was playing 16 games or not too long ago, 5 years ago, where they were playing 16 games, 2 extra games per year. I had a 6-year career. If I played 2 extra games per year, I probably only have had a 5-year career because my body broke down. Like, look, I was a good player. My body was in shambles by the end of my career. And that's the story of so many football players, good football players who can no longer perform the job because
why the average is like 2.5 years.
Exactly, because it's such a violent game. For most of these guys, they come into the league with injuries already, and then it adds up. I'll give you a comparison that may scratch the part of your brain that I'm trying to get to. Imagine if all of a sudden your favorite beer company, which we know is Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Like
or Busch or Busch Light.
Okay, yeah. But really quick. Imagine if instead of selling 12 packs at the same exact price, they started selling you an 11.
Oh, I will riot.
Right.
That is what I'm talking about. They're shaving off 12 ounces of happiness.
Yeah,
so instead
Bud Light.
Instead of adding stuff on, guys, why don't we talk about taking stuff off?
Yeah,
and that is what Wayne and Chloe told us we needed to do. That is what we needed to do. All three of us
We
way
also
too fast.
like
I honestly, you had so many places to go because when Rich said my body was in shambles, I thought you were going to say, remember when my body was in shambles?
Yeah, but so let's just talk about taking stuff off. And I'm not talking about clothes again. I'm talking about weight. And if you're looking to lose some weight here, especially as we're headlong into summer and you need to start losing weight because you were just at the pool and your nephew made fun of you. Yeah, that happened to you, mister. Call Wayne and Chloe over at sdfatloss.com. Mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. You're going to save $200 and you're going to go through the program that the three of us went through. And let's be honest, if the three of us can do it, I promise you can as well. What it is losing weight, and it's losing weight the natural way. You're going to lose weight not with injections, not with weird plans. You're going to lose weight by dieting the natural way with the help of Wayne and Chloe and all of sdfatloss.com. They're going to give you a roadmap for the next 2 months of your life. If you follow that roadmap, you're going to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds. All three of us are living proof of that. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch is what you tell them when you call them. You're going to save $200. You're going to start losing weight immediately. Get on over to sdfatloss.com. That is sdfatloss.com.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We've run out of time. We've
We
done
did
it again.
We did it.
Actually, while Fletch is on the phone, who do we thank, TD?
We thank, I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. We thank everyone who came out to Jesse Lozano's One More Win golf tournament. Man, Kenny, Jeremy, thanks for hanging out with us. EB.
Oh, yeah. EB was out there.
Yeah, Tony Kanja, Keg and Bottleton locations all throughout San Diego County. Thank you again. We're going to be posting some stuff on our Instagram account, so check us out there. Big Rich TD Fletch, and listen to us in the afternoon from 3P to 7P over on 101.5 KGB.
Perfect. The Herd is next. Stick it right here.